What's going on with that PPP? You done a lot of talking, not a lot to see. Up in the millions like 2.3, but Jeff got it all, getting off scot-free. Try to talk tips like we talking about stock, but you're talking about men printed on called stock. When you open your mouth, I take it with a grain of salt, cause the market's down and you're a clown, it's all your fault. You ruined the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruined the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. Did you dip, Jeff? I think you dipped, Jeff. What you talking about? I don't think you dipped yet. Willie's doing shady shit like the GOBs, like his whole failed thing with them NFTs, taking money from the people to pay. Most of them are broke, but that's okay, he's getting money. Even better, tax-free, loving all the stimulus from PPP. You ruined the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruined the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruined the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruined the hobby I love with your bullshit.
B-side on the beat.
What's going on with that PPP? You done a lot of talking, not a lot to see. Up in the millions like 2.3, but Jeff got it all, getting off scot-free. Try to talk tips like we talking about stock, but you're talking about men printed on called stock. When you open your mouth, I take it with a grain of salt, cause the market's down and you're a clown, it's all your fault. You ruined the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruined the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. Did you dip, Jeff? I think you dipped, Jeff. What you talking about? I don't think you dipped yet. Willie's doing shady shit like the GOBs, like his whole failed thing with them NFTs, taking money from the people to pay. Most of them are broke, but that's okay, he's getting money. Even better, tax-free, loving all the stimulus from PPP. You ruined the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruined the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruined the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruined the hobby I love with your bullshit.
What is going on, everybody? Hopefully you guys are doing well out there. That is right. It is another Thursday night around the world, around the globe. And we are joining you, as always, here on Sports Card Radio. We are lathered and juiced up for today's show. I'm sure the chat is as well, as we've got a lot of exciting topics to cover on this beautiful Thursday night. There's a lot of people in this hobby, Ryan, that want the drama to go away, that think the drama makes you a drama queen. Here at Sports Card Radio, we're not about the drama, guys. We're about letting you know all the juice and the dirt that this hobby provides you. Some people may not like drama queens. Some people may want to wipe the dirt and the stains and get rid of them. Here at Sports Card Radio, we just want to uncover and expose them to all of you every Thursday night. We are joined by Mr. Super Producer, who is an expert at co-joining other couples and single young ladies. Maybe they're not single down in beautiful Southern California. Mr. Kim, hopefully you're doing well tonight. Hopefully we're not putting too big of a hurt on your nightly plans, as we know you're a hot commodity down there in the beautiful Southern California area.
I do sacrifice a lot.
Yeah, he's sacrificing, folks, for that 4.2% equity. We've got a lot of topics to cover. Sadly, we do have some bad news to get to right at the front. Is that buyout offer did not come to Sports Card Radio yet. We have not been offered the millions and millions and millions of dollars that you're seeing Ken Golden take home. You're seeing Darren Rovell take home. You're seeing Check Out My Cards take home. You're seeing millions of dollars change hands on this hobby. Sadly, it didn't come to Sports Card Radio. So that means we are going to be joining you unapologetically, but truthfully talking about the hobby that we all love here tonight. We are joined by obviously the super producer, but also by Mr. Kurt Cobain, Mr. Juicer himself. Ryan, how we doing tonight?
I am doing excellent. I see that the chat is fired up. They have rubbed on their juices, ladies and gentlemen. They are ready for another episode, another live stream. Will Greer Investor is in the chat. I bet he's a happy guy. Those cards have been going up ever since Jeff Wilson told you guys to buy them. Bob Boozle, his wife, has let him off his leash and has allowed him to watch an episode of Sports Card Radio. Dominic, Jason M. Bitcoin Tahoe, baby. This Cardboard Life. He provided the excerpt from Jeff Wilson's book, which included a section on drama queens. So maybe we'll talk about that later. Maybe we are just the drama queens. So I wanted like a crown or something, or a queen, whatever, a California king bed to sit in before the show. But we got a lot to talk about, guys. Sit back, relax, grab a drink, grab a smoke, grab something, and because we got a lot to talk about. Is it the end of Kurt's Card Care, hobby hero Kurt's Card Care? Holy Lord, did he get some bad news today? And we heard from Kurt's Card Care, and we have the exclusive response that he provided to us. And wow, breaking news in the Kurt's Card Care world. Boy, not a happy. He's had boy, when he got that shout out, if you shout out Kurt's Card Care, and that guy graded that Wimby 1 of 1. Oh boy, today that was a good day. Today was a bad day for old Mr. Kurt's Card Care. We'll get into that. We have a card shop owner in Atlanta. No, not Jeff Wilson, but another one who has popped off to some of his customers, not once, but 2 different times. Guys, we have exclusive text messages to read that a shop owner sent a customer. We've covered his previous outburst over here at Sports Card Radio. And that may not be the most interesting thing in the story. So I'll leave you hanging there. And of course, our boy, Joe Morelli, who all that happened is his name, an email was shown in a video. I didn't talk about him. I didn't show his picture. I didn't mention his name. All I did was show his email that he sent to us 2 years ago in a video, and it all led to this. So sometimes these young guys, they compound these mistakes, or they get mad at things that they frankly shouldn't get mad at. So we can dive into StarStock. We can dive into why Joe is still mad. He's saying that he's going to sue our entire family. He also takes shots at basically every other sports card influencer as well. So Joe might be the most hated man in the hobby right now, and we will certainly get to him as well. I had tons of other topics to discuss, but I knew that, boy, once we start talking about the juice, and once we start talking about this, the card shop owner who popped off on his customer, I didn't know how much time we'd have left. The new Pearl Jam album comes out in about 3.5 hours. So I figured, we'd at least maybe talk till then. I mean, we could talk about how Jackson Holiday, 20-year-old superstar, started off his career 1 for 25.
Uh-oh.
Boy, that's going to drive sales, huh? So, I mean, we could talk all about the hype that this guy was getting, and then you start with a 1 for 25 piece. Even I might be able to.
Didn't Jeff Wilson say he was holding back inventory of Jackson Holiday until his debut? So I wonder how that inventory is looking right now.
You better hope that this kid gets it going. And he certainly might. He's 20 years old. I don't know about calling up 20-year-old kids just in general. His minor league stats are fairly impressive. He obviously comes from a lineage in a baseball family, Matt Holliday of the St. Louis Cardinals, who really took an erroneous slide into Marco Scutaro, but we won't dive into that because I know most people watching, they haven't been around unless Jeff Wilson told them to collect cards. But God, we could spend an hour on this Kid Jackson's holiday starting 1 for 25. And what does that do to the card market? Anyways, I'm over here trying to buy some Derek Jeter. I thought this was a Panini card, and all of a sudden I'm placing a bid on a Leaf card. So God, Brian Gray is going to owe us 2 dinners if I end up winning this card, because I was like, oh, that's kind of cheap for a Panini, and then I'm literally over here not even concentrating. So our girl Caitlin Clark has a new team, so we won't be bidding on that. But
did you hear about Caitlin's new contract?
I did.
What Pat McAfee show?
I mean, I think she's being paid, what the market rate for women's basketball player. And I think she's about to get a $10 million contract from Nike. So that'll certainly make up for any shortcomings in her salary, I think. So I saw a lot of discussion about that. I'm like, guys, the WNBA has been going around a long time. I think if they could afford to pay these players more, they probably would have done that. It's probably collectively bargained as well, much like all the other sports, but I could be talking out of my ass. I'm not talking about out of my ass. We've got to start with Kurt's Card Care, but I did want to give a shout out to our girl Becky Lynch, who wore a Pearl Jam jacket the other night in the wrestling ring. So we love that. Thieve collects cool cards. He said, I'll know I've made it in the hobby when I make it on Sports Card Radio. This is what we do. We haven't got our $20 million buyout. And so we're the queens, and now we're making like kings. So now Thieve Collect Cards is now a king in the hobby because we've been able to make them. Again, this Cardboard Life on Instagram provided an excerpt from Jeff Wilson's book. I think AIH Sports did a video on this as well about the drama queens. So we will take that, man. We are the drama queens. Get me the gown.
Sure.
But we are not.
One thing that I pointed out is a lot of the top rated TV shows, a lot of the top rated programs in entertainment these days is drama, whether it's scripted drama or it's unscripted drama, reality. Drama sells, and drama certainly played a role today. I think we'll roll into our first topic here. Drama did play a little bit of a role into our lead topic, brought to you by TiffanyCards.com. Tiffany Cards on Twitter, probably other social sites as well. He's simply being a messenger here. I saw him being personally attacked, which again goes to the IQ level of people that not only collect pictures of men, but then rub foreign substances on them to try to improve the condition of the picture of a man. Tiffany Cards just the messenger and says PSA, which is Professional Sports Authenticator, has spoken. Kurt's Card Care 19, I think it ended up being a 1953. Jackie Robinson baseball card, and the entire submission has been deactivated, which is really, the red bar of death, if you will, on the PSA website. Because if you try to sell this in the holder that it's in, then it will not pass certification, and the sale will be more or less null and void. If you crack it out of that holder, supposedly PSA has some technology, and maybe other graders do as well, but I doubt it. But there is some technology out there that exists that could potentially identify this card coming back in through a resubmission process. And we know that the sleuths out there on blowout forums, and I say that with all due respect, I'm not saying that in a disrespectful manner, but we know that I think some of us are being called purist now, but the people that don't like to see their cards.
We were queens a minute ago.
Sure. The drama queens, the purist, they'll find this card if it makes its way into an SGC holder, a tag holder, a HGA holder, a BGS holder, or whatever holder it ends up going into, because I'm sure that's the next stage of where this card is heading. But it looks like this card is no longer recognized as being a PSA 2.5, and the card is now considered altered, which is, for the most part, to most people in the hobby, again, not everybody, There's a generation out there that's not sure if they're a boy or a girl, not sure of their gender, not sure of their pronoun. That type of generation, that's the generation that uses Kurt's Card Care. But those of us that grew up in the 80s and 90s in places like Stockton, California, we know what gender we are. We know our pronouns. And we don't think restoring cards in this manner is the same as a completely original Jackie Robinson. Put a Jackie Robinson 2.5 that has not been soaked and massaged and jizzed on like this one has, and put one next to it that is completely unaltered and unmolested. And I think we all know which one we'd rather buy, all things else being equal, including the price. Kurt's had a little bit of a rough go here. We'll talk about some subjects. I think we have some questions that we have to ask about Kurt's Card Care. What is the future of Kurt's Card Care? Will this continue? Will this kind of juicing? Will he go back into the shadows? Since if he wasn't so public about his, quote, restoration, stuff like this might be continuing to slip through the cracks. Is something like this going to become more normalized in the hobby? Is PSA going to recognize altered cards, maybe create a different distinction like they do with cleaned coins at PCGS, or like CGC does with comic books? Or is this type of practice going to completely be eliminated from the hobby? And also, does Mr. Card Care now face any type of legal or financial ramifications after he did perform this service on this card, which is now got a stain or a black eye on it when it comes to collectors? Those are all the questions that we'll be addressing today. Ryan, why don't you address the Kurt's Card Care situation?
I mean, it's very interesting. Here he is cleaning up the card. This was about 6 weeks ago. You could see he's showing right now in this video. You saw he was dripping with juice. He dried it off, and then he's showing where the tape was on this card. If you click back to this picture, even Tiffany's card, you know, people back in the this is a 1953 Topps Jackie Robinson. People back then, these cards came out of obviously like 5-cent packs, so people didn't think these were worth a lot of money. So they would tape them on wherever, tape them on their door, tape them on their bed, tape them in a binder, and, you know, not even think about it, that guys were going to be handling them and molesting them all these years later. Well, you can see that there was tape residue on this card. And then, yeah, that was the whole purpose of the soaking, I think, was to get the tape residue off. And now this was 6 weeks ago. This card was sent in. I don't know who it was sent in by. I don't know if this was Kurt's card. I don't know if this was for a customer. He did this during the live stream, and I didn't watch the entire live stream. This is just a 2-minute portion where he does clean this particular card. I think this is devastating news, because what this does give people who are against Kurt's Card Care, or against cleaning, or against, really, frankly, any type of alteration in this manner, it gives them a weapon. Every time they see somebody using it, they can point to this and say, well, you better not send it into PSA, or you better not flex it on Instagram, because if PSA sees it, they're going to come over here and decertify you. And not only decertify that card, but you can also see that they likely decertified all the cards in the run, because when you go up one serial number up, oh yeah, that card number, that's also been deactivated. Okay, let's go up another one from that, 77. Oh yeah, that card has also been deactivated. So I don't know how many cards Kurt sent in. I asked him, we'll get to that in a minute, but you can see that it wasn't just this Jackie card. Looks like they might have popped the whole submission, unless, I mean, that's likely what happened. This is how these guys were able to find, you know, the trim card scandal, is because PSA, they order their cards by a lot of times by consecutive serial numbers, and for all of them to be intentionally deactivated based off the Jackie one, this is bad. There's no other way to, I think, splice this. This definitely appears at least it appears very, very bad for Kurt's Card Care and their supporters, because now there is a weapon to hold against them, saying, hey, what happened to that Jackie Robinson and all those other ones you submitted that you flexed on Instagram? So I went ahead and asked. I thought this was a great time to be a journalist in this hobby, one of the few times. And I was like, well, you kind of have to verify that this is one true. And then, see what Kurt thinks about it. So I got on Instagram, looked at a few cute girls, and then was like, what's this dork's name? Oh, yeah, Kurt's Card Care. Okay, I screenshotted him the Tiffany's card thing, and I just said thoughts, question mark. Didn't expect a response. He did hit me back pretty quickly. I'll read his response. It's brief. He says, hey, Ryan, it's nothing new. Cleaning and restoring cards is an important thing to do. I mean, that's in his opinion. Others are not into it. So after they see a card that has been restored and graded, they will likely flood PSA over and over until they get their way. I mean, he was the one that flexed it on Instagram, but again, he deflects and kind of blames other people for this. The cards were graded by the most reputable grading company in the world. And yeah, they now have changed their minds. He asked me, what are my thoughts? I asked them how many cards were decertified from the order, because I think it is very interesting that it wasn't just the Jackie Robinson that was decertified. There are other cards. What were those cards? And this is where it degrades. He didn't answer that question. He said, I truly enjoy it. Was like a politician. He just doesn't answer the question. He just moves on to what he wants. He deflects. I truly enjoy your show. I think it's funny, and I think that you guys are smart, but when you guys did my episode and took personal shots at me, I thought it was kind of fucked up. If you don't like my company or Card Care, I'm cool with that, but I think you referenced me as a drug user or a sexual predator or something like that. Why would you say that? And I was like, dude, and I said, do you deflect all the time? And I just left it at fuck, because I was just like, dude, what a waste of fucking time. Like, this guy is the face of fraud in the industry. Several of his cards just got decertified by PSA, and he's trying to make this about us. These are valuable cards. These are cards people care about. These are cards people don't want, quite frankly, dripping in the fucking juice like this. A lot of people don't want their cards dripped in juice like this, and then essentially deceived that they got a PSA 2.5 when it was really something with tape on it and got dripped on with Kurt's Card Care juice. So much like some other people we'll see in this industry, Kurt just kind of deflects. It's never his fault. He never takes accountability. Now I'll cut him some slack. This was a rough day for him. This is probably the worst day in the history of Kurt's Card Care. And he's probably still reeling from this blow, because this is something people are going to come back to. Unless PSA said, hey, we made a mistake. Never mind. These cards are fine. And then he can come back and take a victory lap. This is something right here that people can come back a year from now and hit him over the head with. And he's probably going to have to answer to if he ever goes on another interview like he did with whatever his name, Jeremy Lee. What are your thoughts on Kurt, his response, and the type of debt? What do you think? Is this the worst day in Kurt's Card Care history? There's the whole exchange.
It certainly could be. And I think multiple things can absolutely be true. It could be that Kurt is having a very bad day. It could be that he's not a sexual predator and that he doesn't use drugs, but that I wouldn't want him anywhere near anyone that I care about, let alone my trading cards. But he said, I think the first statement that he says, this guy's on a mission. This guy is on a mission. He's like one of these cult leaders that believes whatever they're doing is he's on a mission. Some people might say as a higher power is guiding me to this. I don't think he's going that far, but he's saying cleaning and restoring cards is an important thing to do. He's convinced himself that it's an important thing to do. I think he's convinced other people out there in the card community that this is an important thing to do. So I think we can even start there. Is cleaning and restoring cards, is that an important thing to do? Because I think if we look at the number of trading cards that have been made and manufactured over the past however many decades, and maybe even over a century that they've been making trading cards, is it actually important to restore and clean trading cards when they've made tens of billions, maybe even hundreds of billions of cards, and they continue to make millions and millions and millions of trading cards every single day, and every single week we get a new release. And also, in this example, we're talking about a Jackie Robinson, which certainly is an older card from 1953. It's a card that's been around. Maybe you could argue restoring this back to some kind of original condition or putting a little bit of a shine on it. I could see the argument. This is like taking that old Corvette and, it doesn't have the original paint on it anymore. Doesn't have the original seatbelts. It doesn't have the original interior, but it's OEM and it's, it's original or whatever. I could see that. But this guy is known for cleaning and restoring cards that are 2 days out of a pack. And so is that important? Is it important I go to my Honda dealership, buy a 2024 Honda Civic, and immediately restore it? Because that is what we are talking about here. This Jackie Robinson, look, the people that buy these cards, they tend to be a little bit older. They're not from the generation that doesn't know what their pronoun is and doesn't understand what their gender is. That was from a generation long before that. If they're buying a PSA 2 Jackie Robinson, they don't want it in the juice. They'd rather have it with the tape on it. If you gave a purist that usually buys Jackie Robinson cards like this the choice, Jackie Robinson soaked in juice or Jackie Robinson with tape on it, they would take the one with the tape on it 9 times out of 9. And maybe you have that one little crazy guy that's doing the same stuff that Kurt is doing, and maybe he'll take it. But 80 to 90% of the, quote, purist out there, and again, it's not from the generation that is using and sucking on Kurt's Card Care's titty. Again, that generation doesn't know what gender they are and doesn't know what their pronoun. It's a confused generation.
They have to be told. They have to be told.
They have to be told that. Yeah, they do.
They can't just look down and see.
They are fluid. Some days it's one, another day it's another. And that's more than fine. That's a confused generation. And certainly I hope I'm long dead by the time that generation takes things over, because if you think things are fucked up right now, wait till somebody that doesn't know their gender is president of the United States. But the people that buy these cards, these Jackie Robinson cards, they are purist. They don't like this. This is why they buy the card from PSA. We're talking about a lot of times with Kurt, he's taking Victor Wembanyama cards.
John Morant.
This is like doing a boob job on like a 13-year-old. You see what I'm saying? It's not like the Jackie Robinson is like the MILF that's over the hill, has been ran through and is past her prime, and she wants to go get a spray tan and a lift.
A mommy makeover.
Okay. If that's what the guys are into, but when we're talking about the Victor Wembanyama cards, the brand new cards out of the thing, we're talking about, we're talking about restoring something that hasn't even come of age yet. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And I think the discussion that we've got to have is the reason why PSA is decertifying things like this, and the reason why you are going to see going forward that PSA is going to take a harder and harder stance against this is this threatens their business. What do I need PSA for, Ryan, if I've got Kurt's Card Care? Why do I need a PSA to tell me it's an 8, 9, or 10 when I can clean it?
Make it whatever I want.
And make it a 10 every single time. If I can make a card a 10 every single time, why do I need PSA? This is Kurt Card Care is a threat to PSA's entire business model and their existence. That is why they have to take such a hard line on this. And that is why the purist or the drama queens or the people that don't want people cleaning cards, they're going to win. Because PSA has to get better at detecting this. They have to become more public and get better at detecting this type of fraud, because it ultimately is fraud on PSA. It violates their terms of service. It might violate some kind of agreement that they have. with a buyer and seller in the future. It brings into question all of the cards that they've ever graded before. It resurfaces cards that they've rejected in the past for stains and other types of things. Now, all those cards can be cleaned and waxed and resubmitted. It brings into question why you even need PSA. If there are services out there that will make your card perfect, why do I need someone else to provide their opinion on the condition of my card when I can simply just make it perfect on my own? This brings into question and brings a threat to PSA's business model. And I don't know about you, Ryan, but I don't think Kurt going up against the Nat Turners, the Stevie Cohens, the people that have bought and own PSA, probably $1 billion business, are really going to sit down and take this lightly. And I don't think they agree that cleaning and restoring cards is an important thing to do. To Kurt and his fanboys, which don't know what gender they are and don't know their pronouns, cleaning and restoring cards is perfectly fine, guys. It's perfectly fine to be a biological male and think you're female. I got no problem with that. The minute it starts to become a question is when you start to force your ideology onto me, who want nothing. I don't want anything to do with that. I don't want to buy a cleaned card. I don't want to buy a restored card. And PSA doesn't want to grade and authenticate cleaned and restored cards. So you're more than welcome to continue to clean and restore your cards if you think it's an important thing to do. God put us on this earth for a very short period of time. If you believe rubbing down pictures of men and cleaning tape marks off of them is an important thing to do, well, oh, God bless you. It's again, it's right up there with the generation that thinks their gender and their pronouns are the most important thing in the world. This puts a threat to PSA's entire business model. They do not agree that cleaning and restoring your cards is really, really a good idea. In fact, it's against their terms of service, and it brings an entire threat to the PSA business model and undermines their credibility and their professionalism, which is in the company name. If they can't detect this stuff and this stuff is allowed to flourish, well, all of a sudden, PSA's advantage and PSA's market share in the industry will shrivel up, very similar to how Beckett's has. And they don't want to see that happen, since they're probably trying to IPO that company in the next couple of years after Fanatics does. And guys that put down, I don't know what they bought PSA for, $600-700 million or whatever it was. They ain't trying to put that kind of money down and in 4 or 5 years lose money because some guy that family grew up in the car cleaning business figured out how to do it with pictures of men. So again, the Jackie Robinson is one thing. You are cleaning and restoring an old car. But for the most part, Kurt's Card Care Juice is really for the chrome and brand new modern card, which was just made.
They rubbed it on the Webanyama.
Yeah, the one-of-one Webanyama chat's been saying.
So what? I mean, yeah, is that restoration? It's a brand new card out of a pack that the guy fondled. That he fondled because he didn't know anything about cards when he pulled it, and he handed it to the guy with all his fingerprints all over it. So they had to rub Kurt's on it. That's what happened with the Webanyama. I think what happens here, and this is part of what Kurt is probably having to deal with today, is that his account could possibly be suspended as well with PSA. And this is why, partially why group submitters exist, is because, you can get your account suspended, your wife, your cousin, your nephew, and all these kind of things. And it's kind of complicated resetting up PSA accounts or getting a new account with PSA. It's kind of tedious and a pain in the ass. And you may have to use a different address. So this is one of the worst days in Kurt's Card Care history. He's had a nice little run here over the last few weeks. He did not when he got tested by Sports Card Radio. I'm not going to sit here and be chummy with you like Jeremy Lee will. I don't have time for that. Don't have time for that. We'll get into why. I mean, we've got people blowing us up over here at Sports Card Radio. Don't have time to be chummy with you. So I'm going to send you a tweet, give you thoughts. You're going to respond to me. I'm going to ask you another question. You're going to deflect. I'm out. So I think that this is this guy's true colors, especially when he's put under heat. He deflects. It's never his fault.
I think we've seen the true colors of these guys come forward. A lot of the responses, this thread by Tiffany Cards pretty much blew up, and since I was tagged in, I think you were as well. Been seeing a lot of the responses. People are like, "Oh, well, basically cleaning and restoring cards is important." Okay, that's fine. If you think that's important, no one is going to argue with what you find important in this life. But these
guys are trying to make new rules. That's what's happening.
Trying to make new rules.
Guys, we just follow the rules. We don't try to make new rules. PSA has laid out a set of rules. They don't want you soaking cards in the juice. Any cards, Jackie Robinson to Victor Webb and Yama. They don't allow this. That's on their website. They've explicitly stated this. So these guys are around trying to make new rules and actually telling us that it's important, not only trying to make new rules, but that it's an important thing to do. Do that on your own time.
Right.
When you then try to put it in another holder and deceive people, deceive PSA, deceive a potential customer, deceive me, you're lucky that the only thing we called you was a drug user and a sexual predator. Because usually we hit guys like you a lot harder. Kurt's Card Care is the face of fraud in this industry. I could make a very good argument. He is the face of fraud in this industry.
Do you think Kurt faces legal ramifications based on the fact that you think he is the fraud of the industry? We'll talk about legal issues as it pertains to Sports Card Radio here in a moment, but do you think Kurt now faces legal ramifications? Because I'm assuming this wasn't his Jackie Robinson. I might be assuming wrong here. I'm assuming this was somebody else's Jackie Robinson. Maybe he submitted it. Maybe the guy, it got clean, got sent to the guy used his own PSA account and sent this in. Like, he's probably feeling bad. Obviously, again, this is a direct threat to PSA's business model. It goes against their terms of service. I know everybody wants to change the rules and society change and times change, but last time I checked, the terms of service over at PSA have not changed. And that is why they decertified and deactivated not only this card, but the entire submission. Do you think Kurt faces any type of legal or even criminal challenges going forward? Since, again, you said he is the face of fraud in this industry.
Look, I think, if you bought this Jackie Robinson, you send it over to Kurt's Juice. He flexed it on Instagram. You send it into PSA. It gets deactivated, and then probably your entire order did. I mean, we could keep clicking up the little serial numbers here and see when it stops. I asked Kurt, a direct question. How many? We don't even know if it's his card or not. So absolutely, with how happy people are in this industry, and they throw around lawsuits like it's junk wax cards. Absolutely, the person who owns these cards or used Kurt's Card Care, and PSA rejected them, and PSA suspended their account, or PSA no longer honors their business. Absolutely. I think Kurt's Card Care ends up in a courtroom sooner rather than later. Now, could the graders sue him as well? They're basically, Kurt is trying to defraud the grading companies when he's doing something like this. Certainly a $1 billion company like PSA throwing a little lawsuit at Kurt's Card Care, even if they lost, could probably do some damage. So I think he faces exposure, legal exposure from a grading company suing him, and then from his very own customers that he claims he loves. He's likely getting cards decertified from PSA, getting other cards decertified from PSA, and probably getting accounts banned from PSA. if these are other people's cards. So absolutely, I think that Kurt's Card Care ends up in a courtroom sooner rather than later. Now maybe he's Canadian and he escapes it all. But yeah, why the hell not? I mean, isn't this is fraud? He's defrauding PSA, and if his product doesn't work and there are financial repercussions from it, I'm not saying you could win a lawsuit, but you could certainly, I bet, file one and make a case for it. He has Kurt says he has 5 employees. This is a full-time thing. He works 3 shifts and 60 hours a day kind of thing. He's grinding over this. This is a real business. This isn't just some hobby for him. This is his whole life. Somebody's going to see that and see that there's probably some money coming in, and yeah, they're going to sue him, or he's going to mess up a 1-in-1. Somebody's going to try to soak a 1-of-1 Wembanyama, mess it up, and then sue Kurt. And now, they can win or not? I don't know. That's for the court to decide, but I believe I think it's going to happen for sure. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I think, he's convinced himself again, this is cleaning and restoring cards is an important thing to do. I think he's, this is probably one of the bigger successes he's had in his life, probably one of the bigger successes he's had in business as well. And so sometimes when that is the case, you get a little blind to the stuff. You almost feel like, too, you're invincible, right? You've had a little bit of success, and he's made a couple of jumpers. He's gotten a little bit of press. He's probably made maybe a little bit more than a little bit of money. He might be making pretty darn good money, and sometimes that clouds your judgment as a business person. Sometimes you take that first PPP loan and you get away with it, and then you decide, well, I got away with the first PPP loan, I might as well take the second. And I think that's where Kurt has gone. He's gone from kind of a mundane wax for the Chrome cards. Now he's gotten all the way in to taking tape stains off of Jackie Robinson cards, which again, the customer base of the end customer of the Jackie Robinson, not the 5 flippers in between that are trying to get 80% comps for a card like that, or take a card that's stained and get it upgraded and then sell it on to the end collector. The end guy that is buying this does not want it like this. He'd rather have the stained card. He wants an unrestored card. He doesn't want it in all this juice and all this stuff.
He would have done it himself. He would have done that himself if he wanted it like that.
And if this was so important and needed in the hobby, then we should, and Kurt is pretty much open about this, but what he's going to find is this is not needed in the hobby. This is not something that is wanted in the hobby. Cards have been coming out of packs for a century, stained, off center, with defects.
Looks fine to me.
These are pictures of men. It's not a sports car that I had to finance my house to get. It's not a Rolex watch, which is, $18 of parts. These are pictures of men that have turned into collectibles and turned into valuable items. A Victor Wembanyama 1-of-1, the hobbyists convinced themselves that's better and more expensive than Victor Wembanyama game jersey that you could buy off the San Antonio Spurs website or in a charity auction. Some people think it's worth more than a championship ring. A lot of people think those cards are worth more than Victor Wembanyama's signature. I bet if you've offered Victor Wembanyama, I think we're estimating the 1-of-1 card to maybe worth $1 million. I bet if you offered Victor Wembanyama $1 million, he would let you hang out with him for a whole day. Maybe even a whole week. I mean, $1 million's $1 million. Victor Wembanyama might let you sleep on his couch for $1 million. The hobby community has convinced themselves that these cards are valuable and we desire them and we want them. Just the same way Kurt has convinced himself that this is important and this is something that he's put on God's earth to do. This is his mission in life. Reminds me of some of these cult leaders And again, reminds me of the generation, which is some of them are in the chat tonight. Some of them were on Twitter defending him. Most of these guys don't know if they're a man or a girl. Most of them don't know if you should call him he, she, they, or it. They're not sure. They're confused. But somehow at the same time, they have it figured out. And Kurt is right. PSA did authenticate this card. And that's why today is not only a bad day for Kurt, I think it's a bad day for PSA. While they stepped up and did the right thing, if Kurt wasn't so open and kept his gender and kept his work in the background, in the shadows, like a lot of trimmers are doing these days, they're still trimming cards, Ryan. They're still shaving edges. They're just not doing it out in public and on TikTok and Instagram like these guys seem to do. So my prediction is Kurt goes back into hiding, because if he doesn't, he's going to face more and more problems like this time and time again.
Well, it gives PSA incentive to figure this out. Maybe they are able to test this. Maybe it does leave some residue on the card. Maybe it does long-term damage the card. Maybe they would win in a lawsuit against them. So I think this story, there's a lot to this story that going to be written. So anybody that's saying I'm jealous of Kurt's card care, does this look like a guy I'm be jealous of over here? Come on, guys.
He said he was working 60 hours a week. I don't think you've worked 60 hours in the last 3 years. So
I mean, total. Yeah, exactly. Total. So this is a pain in my ass to sit here for a couple hours and do this. Trust and believe that. So let alone the death threats that we receive. I got to deal with that stupid shit. I think this is the worst day in Kurt's card care history. Now, certainly he could rebound. People could, certainly still buy his product, but now all his detractors, they can come to this and use this. And now all the people that promoted him, they're going to have to answer to this. All the people that said cleaning and soaking was okay, they now have to answer to this and explain this away and disagree essentially with PSA and say, PSA did the wrong thing here. Horrible, horrible day for Kurt's card care. Certainly not going to cripple his business, because businesses are like cockroaches in the sports card industry. They hang around and hang around and hang around, especially some of the scummy ones. The first card PSA ever graded was trimmed. So we're not talking, like you said, we're not talking about the reputation scale at PSA isn't exactly tipping overboard either. Horrible day for Kurt's card care. Horrible day for whoever submitted these cards, because they got a ton of them deactivated. Talk about a waste of money. Was that worth it, guys? You bought juice. You rubbed it on a card. You sent it in. You paid God knows how much, $25 each to grade these things. And then they all come back deactivated. So have fun with that. And have fun if your account still exists as well. So that's a danger as well.
Those type of cards would be way more to grade because the value.
Because the potential value. I don't know what a 53 tops Jackie Robinson 2.5, probably a lot. I mean, I could look it up, but I mean, yeah, we could be talking about that was $1,000 hit to the bank, let alone if it was maybe a 50 card submission or 100 card submission. I don't know. I didn't keep clicking up the thing. That's why I asked Kurt, were these as cards? Were all of them deactivated? Does his account still exist? Was this a customer's cards? Is he going to continue to soaking cards on Instagram? We don't try to make rules, guys. We just follow them. The whole new generation of cards, the Jeff Wilsons, the Kurt's card cares, the StarStocks, they're trying to just make new rules. They're trying to walk into this hobby that has a history that's older than this 1952 Topps card that I'm holding and make new rules. So heaven forbid the two guys who've been around a little bit and be like, hey, we've been following these rules our whole life. We grew up working in a card shop, 7 years old. We certainly weren't trying to make new rules when we were 7 years old working in a card shop. We started this website 15 years ago. I don't think we were trying to make new rules. We were putting up information about a wholesale list, about checklists. We weren't trying to make new rules. Got these whole new dorks into this hobby who just cleaning and restoring cards is an important thing to do. Okay. That's an opinion. That's not a fact. That's not a fact. This card that's 70 years old looks fine to me. Still Looks fine. Doesn't look like it's going to deteriorate. I'd be more worried about the sticker autographs. Doesn't the best adhesive at some point wear off? And maybe in 100 years, all those sticker autographs these companies have forced down your guys' throat, oh, the tape will probably come right off. Like it did on this Jackie Robinson, right? Where's the tape on that Jackie Robinson? Oh, yeah, it eventually comes off. So we got a lot of issues in this hobby. And then when you confront these guys, unless you're fucking pitter pat them and pat them on the ass like Jeremy Lee, they attacked you. We're the problem. We're the problem. This guy's the face of fraud in the hobby. He just had a whole bunch of cards decertified. He showed that he was soaking this Jackie Robinson. That is against the rules of PSA, one of the most historic brands in this whole industry. But no, we're the problem. I think it was kind of fucked up. Like I said, we've been in this hobby a long time. We ain't trying to make rules. We just trying to follow them. It's amazing watching these dorks come into this hobby, try to make new rules. And that is what Kurt's Card Care and his little legion are trying to do. We will see how PSA and these other grading companies react. We will see how the fanboys react. This is a huge win for the purist, for the drama queens, because now you can always come back to this and say, oh, better not flex your little soak card and show you where you sent it off, because your whole order will probably be deactivated or more.
I mean,
he's in a fetal, but Kurt's Card Care is in a fetal position right now because his whole account is cooked. Maybe every card he submitted is decertified.
Worse than that, this is grounds for potentially felony level for how much like he could cost customers. Like how, like, let's say that 53 Jackie costs like $1,000 to grade, or the whole submission was over 10 grand overall. And then that whole submission got deactivated now, but you still had to pay that fee up front to PSA. So now the customer is out $10K. That's like that's over felony level stuff.
Yeah, this was a more than a $20. I mean, it's a $1,000 card, so whatever, a $1,000 card to grade. So these were probably not cheap cards that got deactivated. And maybe not, maybe a large account that maybe got suspended. So use this stuff at your own risk. I love how also on these Kurt Card Care products, he doesn't even list what's inside, let alone a state government could come and be like, what's in this product? You're supposed to list this and this and this and this, and it's a cleaning product, and you have to have this warning label and this and this and this and this and this. There's a number of people that could legally shut this guy down.
I guarantee you something in there causes cancer, which means you need to disclose that to the residents out here in California. Everything that you buy out here in California, it's like, this might cause cancer. I bought like some
dead ass.
There was those picnic sticks, those they used to come, the picnic sticks. There's like the little French fry potato chips
cancer.
on the front, on the top. It said I think they changed the formulation so it doesn't anymore. But on the top, it was like something in here causes cancer. And I was like, oh, I'm not buying that, I don't think. And then I was using some shampoo, and it was like, oh, the coal tar in the shampoo can cause cancer. I was like, oh shit, I can't buy that anymore. So I guarantee you, yeah, there's something in here. And for some people like Kurt, and again, his crew, his posse, they might not care. For Kurt, this is the biggest success of his life. This is everything to him. Okay? Like, this is everything to Kurt. And we'll talk about it here in a minute. Somebody was talking about deplatforming us and suing us and things like that. I don't care. Take away all my social media feeds, make it so I can't log into social media ever again. And that doesn't mean anything to me. There are a few things in this life that actually mean something to me that I will care about and I will fight to the death about. My social feeds are not one of them. In fact, I set like a 10-minute limit on all of them on my phone just so I'm not on them very much. But to Kurt, this is everything. And to his little fanboys, this is everything. Getting a picture of a man with a little bit of a dimple on it and being able to rub it out and turn it from an 8 to a 10, that's everything to these guys. That's everything. Because they're not having sex, they're not making money, they're $100,000 in debt because they went to college and majored in liberal studies and gender studies and don't even know what gender they are at this point.
They changed their gender. That's very expensive.
Right, yeah. And they went through hormone therapy.
Correct.
And now they're not really sure if that worked or if that was really a good decision. The most significant thing in their life is being able to pull a picture of man and upgrade it from a PSA 1 to a PSA 2.5. We're talking about $1,000 card here. $1,000 card. I just spent that on a putter. You know what I mean? Like
people buying this for $1,200 don't want it soaked. Period.
No, they don't.
If you're trying to sell it and you're trying to turn a 1 into 2.5, you want to do this. Here's a PS. Here's got the PWCC fucking sticker on it. 2,300.
People just can't be happy with what they got. I mean, I think we're talking about more like society now, but people just aren't happy with what they got. You pulled a Victor Wembanyama 1-of-1 card. It's a great card. That's the best card you'll probably ever pull in your life. And you had to juice it in order to make it even better.
No, that's their first instinct. Let me juice it. Let me try to make this better. Let me buy a card and let me fucking squeeze something out of it. Squeeze it through the orange juice maker. And
I have a Jackie Robinson card. I don't know what these are with a tape stain on them, but if a 2.5 is worth $1,000, one with a tape stain is probably $85.
No, probably more than that.
I mean, it barely doubled the value of the card. A PSA 1 pour is like $400. So you had to go through, and I think a lot of these guys are jumping. If he's working 60 hours a week and crafting a video and then risking, it's not what happened, it's what he's risking. He's risking getting sued by somebody or getting taken to small claims court. Like you said, somebody probably spent a few $1,000s just to submit these cards, get them waxed, get them clean, send them to PSA through the mail, insurance, all this. I'd take them to a small claims court and say, this guy owes me $2,000. Because on Kurt's website, he actually explicitly states that there is no problems with this. Somebody actually sent this.
He said it on Jeremy Lee's show. He said it on Jeremy Lee's show. He said it. Oh, it falls under the rules of the grading companies. That it's totally fine to use.
And again,
now this happens 3 days later.
Somebody with nothing to lose, somebody who's more or less a low life in this world, will do these types of things and will risk these types of things. Somebody that has a good job, a family, a mortgage, a future, won't do these types of things. They'll think twice about it. They'll think, is this really worth it?
So this is the worst day in the history of card cleaning in Kurt's Card Care. We're going to see how he bounced back from this. But there's no
in chat says, I want to call into your little show and spit some facts. You guys have no clue.
No, because I saw what else he was saying. Like he doesn't like facts about what? Facts about what?
Guys,
what are we missing here, guys? You fucking idiots.
It's not hard. It's against the rules at PSA. Period. End of story. PSA has us both blocked on Twitter. It's not like we're friends with PSA, guys. Nat Turner, if we sent him an email or saw him in person, he would not want to talk to us. Nobody at PSA likes us. Nobody does. They've had us blocked for years. It's not something that's happened recently. Joe Orlando would not want to talk to us. The former CEO, let alone a current CEO. We're no friend of PSA. We are no friend of PSA. We have been more than critical over the years of PSA. And we could certainly have a segment right now on how critical we are of PSA because Mr. Kurt brought up a good point. They certified these cards. What the hell are you guys paying for? If this guy not only cleaned and waxed his Jackie, but he showed it to you on camera and then you paid somebody to grade the card. It's absolutely nuts and bonkers. But at the end of the day, Kurt was probably the dumbest person out of everybody here because if he had done this in the shadows of the internet, in the corner of the internet, he would have gotten away with it because PSA has no way to detect this. Clearly, they don't. And they don't care if you get a Victor Wembanyama, rub the juice all over it, and come to company headquarters and shout the guy out. They don't care. They sat right there. So PSA is not off the hook here. And we're not letting him off the hook. But the bottom line is I'm not the CEO of PSA. PSA has never sent me a dime. And at the end of the day, it's their rules. And if Kurt tells you that this is not against the rules, he's lying to you, or he's just completely in outer space. And if you believe them, if you believe him, again, there's people that'll tell you all the things that all kind of conspiracies and all types of lies that people believe. People believe whatever they want. But at the end of the day, cleaning and restoring your card and getting it graded by PSA is against the terms of service. And that is why they deactivated not only this certification, but the rest of them. So at the end of the day, if you want to submit cards to PSA, you better avoid this type of stuff. And if you want to buy cards, again, we're speaking more or less from the buyer of that Jackie Robinson 2.5. We know the buyer of that card, because when we go to card shows, guys, we don't just constantly have the phone up and be like, "Hey guys, I'm at the card show. Oh, come, I just
did a $10,000 deal.
I just bought
Bijan Robinson.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so cool. No, we actually sit there and talk to people. We know people that will buy this Jackie Robinson. We know people that will want to spend their $1,000 on this. And we know how hard they would work for that $1,000 to buy that Jackie Robinson. We know that they would not want to buy one that was clean. They'd rather have it with the tape on it. And if you want to clean your cards, do it out in the open. Continue to do it out in the open like Kurt does. And you guys are going to keep getting caught. Kurt's going to get sued either criminally by PSA, or somebody's going to take this guy to small claims court and say he ruined this and he ruined that of my cards.
Here, this store can call in. You want to call in? It's Sports Talk Radio. You come in, you give your hot take, and then you get off. So there, the link's in the chat. Call in, whatever the fuck you gotta fucking say.
What's the
You're
guy's
gonna spit facts or whatever. Go ahead, spit facts to us. It's in front of 1,000 people.
Hold on.
You're welcome.
Before he spits, he needs to clarify what his gender is and his pronouns, so we don't get that.
Yeah, I don't want to misgender you.
Right. We need to know his pronouns and his gender, so heaven forbid we forget that.
So call in, say whatever you're gonna fucking say, and get off. And don't ramble. Don't fucking take 8 minutes to fucking get to your point.
Oh God.
Our trading. Are you David Snyder? I don't think that's David Snyder. David Snyder, call in.
We know who our trading cards is. We can
call
put
in.
him on the string.
We gave you the chat. There it is. Here he is. David Snyder. We're eagerly awaiting what the fuck you have to say. I want my screen still up. I like my screen.
You like to.
You're
like
up.
Kurt. You want it out in the open.
Yeah.
You want to.
Is this Dave? Dave, is this you?
No, this is not Dave. No.
God, guys, we're waiting for Dave. This was for Dave to call in, not anybody else. Guys, what the fuck?
No, I don't care who calls in. I don't care.
Yeah.
How about an attractive female call in? That would be fantastic.
Is this Dave?
Hey there.
Is this Dave? Dave.
Oh God.
Is this Dave? What the fuck is going on?
That dude definitely looked like a dude that didn't know what his pronoun was.
David, talk to us.
Yes, this is Dave.
All right. What do you got to say?
I don't think this is Dave.
I don't think it is. I don't think I can't
His
imagine.
name is David Snyder is a homosexual.
Maybe it's self-deprecating humor.
It's fantastic.
So everybody else called in but Dave, I see.
I think, yeah, you get the opportunity to call into Sports Car Radio. It's almost like,
And then
I'm
you
gonna,
think
I'm
twice.
gonna go up to that hot chick. Oh, she's over at the bar. She's been drinking all night. Now's my chance. And then finally you get your chance, and you just don't do it. You just don't do it.
He
So I
ran
think
away.
oh wait, we got more. We got more down here. Who's this? Who's this? This guy definitely looks like somebody that would be confused.
Is this Dave Snyder? That's not Dave Snyder. What in the hell is going on?
Who's this? Hello, Mr.
No,
Kevin.
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, what's up, guys?
Who's this?
What's up?
First
How
of
we
all, I
doing?
just want to
You're
say
not
I
Dave
appreciate
Snyder.
you guys. This is not Dave Snyder, no. But I appreciate you guys. I love you guys' show. But look, let's get this out in the open. PSA has made a lot of mistakes throughout the years. Okay. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Fuck.
We know
hear
we
you.
know about those mistakes. Like we've covered those mistakes.
We have a
in
website
detail.
Yeah,
where
so-
we're one of the only people that you have a whole page. I think
There's
to
their
mention
logo
these
right
days.
there.
Right.
This
the
is a
reason why
very
they
negative
don't-
article.
We're not going to get bought out by collectors anytime soon, mainly because of what we've criticized them for in the past.
So why are you gonna what?
Why are we going to do what?
Too much lag on my own.
All right. Look.
Hey,
These
look,
guys-
the logic that PSA sucks at grading, that doesn't work. It'd be like me saying, oh, well, I can get away with rape or murder, so I might as well do it. No. Again, somebody that thinks that way is morally bankrupt. And I think a lot of people in Kurt Card Care camp are just morally bankrupt people. They have tape on their Jackie Robinson and they don't care. They just want to get it off so they can turn a $400 card into a $1,000 card. They don't care. They don't care that the end buyer really, really doesn't want that. So the fact that PSA is a bad company and can't grade cards very well doesn't mean that cleaning and restoring is an important thing to do. And not only that, even if you're a bad company and you're bad at what you do, and let's just get that out there. I don't think PSA is very good at grading cards. I don't think any company is. We're talking about pictures of men graded by some man that's making $14, $18 an hour out here in California. I don't think they're very good at what they do. That's why you don't see me. I've got stacks of freaking cards over here. I'm not going to send a single one to PSA. They're not good at what they do.
Let's see if this is Dave Snyder. Is this Dave Snyder?
Oh, this might be
Dave Snyder.
Oh my God.
Hello?
Hello.
Dave Snyder.
How are you?
Hello?
All right. I mean, no wonder people need Jeff Wilson to tell them what to do and Kurt's Card
I
Care to
know.
fucking rub cards on them. I mean, my God. Welcome to the hobby 2024, ladies and gentlemen. I just love how Dave Snyder was telling us, oh, we don't know shit. Oh, I'm going to come in and spit fat. And
Dave Jones.
David Jones.
Not
Where are
Snyder.
you? Jones, where are you? Where are you?
Yeah.
Which one were you?
I think
You did not call in, bro. We can see everybody who calls in.
I think they're trolling.
It's fucking, that's his way out.
You don't want to face the music. We know this. We know this. Kurt, call in, Kurt. How many cards were decertified from the order? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. You're mad? You think it was fucked up that we talked about you? Let's talk about this. Call in, Kurt. Come face the music. Did your account get banned today? Was this a customer's card? How many times has this happened to you, Kurt? You always talk about all the
And I thought-
positivity.
I thought this wasn't against the rules, and I thought this was an important thing for the hobby.
Yeah, explain why it's so important to us. Why it's so important. Why your gender? I mean, why cleaning and restoring is so important.
And would he do it for free? If it's so important, typically when things are really important to you, he should be giving away the Kurt's card care for free. If this is an important thing to do, just do it for free or do it at
Yeah, it's a
cost.
business.
He's charging like
business.
$40 for this juice that looks like 90% water.
David, where are you?
I don't know.
Why are you scared?
Again, I think it's that syndrome. You're at the bar, the girl's cute, you might have seen her there before. Maybe you had a little interaction on the way to the DJ booth or whatever. And now tonight's the night. You're going to muster up that courage, go get that number, drop your digits, whatever. Do that pickup line that you've rehearsed in the mirror. And then when the time comes, last call is made, you don't get the job done.
You deflect like all these other guys. Like, oh no, my phone didn't work. My mom's girlfriend's sister-in-law had to use the phone.
Right.
My computer ran out of battery.
Right. Yeah. Going on Jeremy Lee's show is kind of like, instead of going home with the hot girl, you go home with your buddy. To me, that's like going on.
Well, look, I don't want, he gets these people on, at least you get these guys on the record. I think my only criticism to Jeremy Lee is he just asked the question and then there's no pushback. There's no follow-up. He has like a list of 20 questions.
I think there's value there though.
There's value there.
Get the guy to talk. Just get him to talk.
There's value in getting
that's okay.
Value in getting it on the record, but again, that's why Kurt goes on a show like Jeremy Lee and he doesn't come on and confront what happened today, the worst day in the history of his company. Because now I'm telling you, his detractors this is going to be brought up over and over again throughout the whole year. This is probably one of the biggest actually stories of the whole year because this is going to keep coming back over and over and over again. And now this little flex culture of you guys showing your dripping cards, in this juice. You better not do that and then send it to PSA because all the little sleuths and all the little blowout forum guys, they're going to be all over your Instagram. They're going to be all over everything you guys do. You guys got to go back under the shadows, the Evan Mathis.
The Razzers.
Yeah, the Razzers.
I mean, the Razzers were trying to set up websites and do all this. This was like a long time ago. I was like, guys, do your Razzes in the corner of the internet. No one's going to care. There's still Razzes going on today, but you don't really see a lot of. These dudes were like DA Card World was doing Razzes. I mean, that just showed you where Razzes were heading. Like DA Card World was doing Razzes, and it was like, no. If you actually care about your business and care about the longevity of your business, you would actually care about this. But I honestly, Kurt is very reckless. I imagine that he's not going to be in this business for long. When you're this reckless and almost transparent to a fault, you're breaking rules here. You're breaking rules here. If he was not breaking any rules, it'd be like, wow, so transparent, so refreshing. As refreshing as the juice that he's put on the cards. But this is breaking the rules. And again, we're not sitting here trying to be apologist or the CEO or the board of directors for PSA. There's nobody at PSA that gives a damn about sports card radio. None of these guys want anything to do with us because we've exposed them a number of different times. We've exposed their business model as being very, very, very weak. Very weak. They can't detect trim cards. They can't detect Kurt's juice unless you're out there rubbing it in their face. This is why we don't pay a premium for PSA graded cards. This is why when we buy PSA cards, we buy PSA 2s and 3s that are $5 to $10.
Yeah, go soak that card if you want. So David's not going to call in. God, that aggravates me when somebody thinks they can just come in the chat and just kind of like bomb and on the shit. And I'm going to call up and spit some facts to you guys. And then we give him an opportunity. 18 other motherfuckers somehow call in and can't get their phone to work. But David doesn't call in. And then he's going to tell everybody, oh, I called, they wouldn't let me on, or they didn't want to talk to me and I was going to come on. And here I am. I keep posting the fucking link in the chat. And every time somebody pops in the room, it gets a little beep in my ear and I don't hear it. Don't come in the chat and say, you're going to do this, and do this. And then you don't. We're going to see that later on with a guy by the name of Joe Morelli and the StarStock employee. These guys who say they're going to do something and then they don't. We give you an opportunity to come on, say whatever you want to say. and then you come up lame. That's weak as hell. I hate that. So this is the worst day in the history of Kurt's Card Care for now, and now until something positive happens, people are going to be able to beat this over Kurt's head. You guys who are using this product, I certainly wouldn't post it on Instagram. I would beware about sending these cards into PSA. They could deactivate the entire order you send to them, not just one card. So be very, very careful about flexing Kurt. You guys are going to have to go back in the chat, like a drug user or somebody that gets caught on Chris Hansen. Go act like those guys. Since if Dave wants to call in, we can jump back to Kurt's Card Care in any minute. But should we get to another Dave?
That's not him.
That's not him. I'm not letting on anybody who's not David.
I'm gonna put him on. Put him on. Just put
All
him
right.
on.
All right. What do you got?
Check
for
this
us?
out.
Hit it.
Okay, so I'm at work right now, Burger King. You know, you rule.
All right.
Anyways, I'm a big fan of the show. You guys are awesome, amazing. I'm a purist, I believe that Kurt's Card Care shouldn't be soaked on cards, and that PSA should come up with some kind of detection unit. I actually bought Kurt's Card Care, and I'm in the month of a 2-month soaking process. I'm soaking these cards for 2 months, and I'm going to see what happens. And I'll be glad to share my results with you guys.
Do you have a girlfriend? Hold on. Do you have
Yes,
a girlfriend?
I do. I got 3 kids also.
Does she know that you have your cards soaked for 2 months? I mean, what does she think?
Oh, I soaked some shitty cards. What does she think about it? She supports the hobby. She supports it 100%. She gets mad because I've been spending a little too much money, but it's okay.
What's too much money? What is that? What are we talking about? What kind of cheddar are we talking about?
Not like Rolex money, but like $400 or $500 a check.
Okay, we like that. So what are you going to do with these soaked cards? What are you going to do with these soaked cards?
My goal is to I have some I soak for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. I have them on a board, like on a table, and I'm setting up and I'm just letting them sit there and see what happens over time. I'm doing a project, and I'm gonna put a whole progression, a whole progression throughout. I don't know. See what happens after 6 months, a year, whatever.
How much juice does this take? Is this one bottle of juice? Is this two?
Well, actually, so you dip, that little bottle of juice that he sells.
Okay.
Okay, you add that to distilled water.
Okay.
And that's what it looks like. He's soaking it inside of a bunch of shit. It's really just distilled water with like 3 or 4 drops of that juice.
And that's what Kurt says to do. Does Kurt say to do this, or is this your own like little thing?
I've watched them do it on his little live streams before. He puts a little couple dots, distilled water, and he explains it all throughout how to do it. I'm not fucking with no edges or anything. I got a Prism card soaking, a Heritage card soaking, a Flagship Tops card soaking, and I have a Tier 1 card soaking.
So how many more days do we have on this card? I mean, how many more days on the project?
On this coke?
Yeah,
on this project?
Well, that too.
Right now I have 2 weeks in.
Okay,
And
so you still got another 20
supposed to go
days.
that long? Like, does he give you explicit instruction? Is it the longer you soak, the better? Or is there a specific time frame you're supposed to soak these cards?
He says anywhere between 2 to 4 hours or whatever, but I'm gonna max it out because the one card that I have, the Prism, it's the Anthony Richardson green pulsar, has like a big ass divot in the back. I'm gonna see what happens.
Okay.
Hey, well, good luck to you. Report back. Let us know what happened.
Ryan, Colin, you guys are the shit. Tim, keep fucking them troubles, And yeah, Burger King out, guys. You guys have a good night.
Burger King, baby.
You.
We love
Have it your way. Appreciate it.
Unite.
Have it your way.
That was wonderful.
Hold on, we got more callers. We're just gonna
We have
take callers.
1,100 viewers, by the way.
Queen City cards. What do you got for us?
It's unbelievable.
Guys, look
What
at
do you
that.
got for us? Did you soak that one?
Purists.
Did you soak that one?
Purists. Look at that purist.
Shouldn't
That's pure, baby.
you crack
at
that
that.
out and soak that immediately?
Look at that purist.
Shouldn't
Purist.
that be cracked and
Are
soaked
you-
immediately?
Look at
Are
that.
you on Kurt's Card Care buying the juice right now? Now that you know it can effectively remove that stain, you trying to order as much as you possibly can. It's beautiful.
right?
I think he's exactly.
We don't want Kurt's juice cards. No one wants Kurt's juice cards.
Apparently, people that work at Burger King do, though.
I want to show you another one.
Okay.
This one's even better.
Do you have any pictures of women on your phone?
What
Just
is your wife? What does your wife think about your unmolested Kurtz cards?
That is lovely.
So wait, are these at a vault?
What
Why do you have pictures of these? Where are these cards? Are these at Kurtz Card Care right now? So these are at like Kurtz right now, trying to get soaked.
What is that? I mean, is that tape? I don't know. He's gone.
So we've got the crowd and the chat fired up. Burger King, have it your way, guys. If you need something to eat, we might be going a long time tonight. So this show might
order,
be sponsored,
yeah.
but
DoorDash.
maybe we should do an order. DoorDash order for
I mean, if
Burger King.
Tim delivered my Burger King.
Well, we need to take an order for everybody. Everybody watching. So get your Burger King order in the chat. We'll place an order. We'll get the other Tim who was working at Burger King to get to work and deliver this.
Gotta follow through.
Could you imagine if you could get Kurt's Card Care delivered and Burger King at the same time? I mean, that would just be able to.
God, it's like an orgasm.
Fantastic. It would be.
Jesus. You can continue to call into the show if you want to. We will. Do you want to talk to another Dave?
We got one.
We've got Ethan here.
Ethan, what do you got for us? Hit us, Ethan.
Hey, I got a card that Kurt's card here might want.
What is it?
You can see it's a Bryce Harper prospect. It's his first ever autograph card with a pro uniform, but you can see it's pretty dinged up.
You gonna send this over to Kurt?
Yeah.
You're gonna send this over to Kurt and get it fixed up?
Am I gonna? Nah, definitely not.
What happened there? Did you drop it or did you?
No, it was in the basement and the basement flooded, so it got some.
Oh, so it's soaked already. So your Bryce Harper is already soaked, but naturally soaked.
Yeah, it got naturally soaked, but it's beautiful how it is.
I agree. What do you have a girlfriend or a wife what does she think about the Bryce Harper card?
What does she think about your Bryce Harper?
No, I'm just single. I just got my own apartment.
Nothing wrong with that.
Do you have a job?
Huh?
Do you have a job?
Yeah, I'm a pilot.
Oh, wow. Excellent job. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds good. Any other cards that you're considering sending into Kurt's Card Care? Just the Bryce, or is there more?
Well, I got a whole bunch of cards. That
are soaked?
You think this Jack and Smith and Jigba silver is a good candidate?
That's I mean, card collector too would probably want it.
Immediately.
Where's the
absolutely thrilling. Ethan, that was absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Showing off some of your collection. Thank you.
What kind of planes do you think he flies?
I'm a little concerned. Yeah. When he said pilot, I'm a little
probably Boeing.
Yeah.
He works for Boeing.
Maybe he's the one. He's going to deliver the Burger King order. Maybe that.
We love you, Ethan. Thank you.
Thank you, Ethan. We love you. Anybody who wants to call in, we're going to put you through. Do you have anything else to say about Kurtz? You want to talk about the other Dave?
I don't even remember this guy, but I guess we can.
Well, I'm going to refresh your memory. I'm going to refresh your memory.
All right, fair enough.
He is an Atlanta sports card shop owner, not named Jeff Wilson, who attacks his customers if they leave a 1-star review, like on Yelp or Google or whatever. Here he is back in July, where he basically threatened a lawsuit against the guy who left a 1-star review. He tracks you down and then he contacts you through Instagram. Then what he does is he contacted this guy's work, which is absolute lunacy. So Dave is on a rampage against his customers who leave him a 1-star review. Oh, who we got? Jim, hit us. What do you got?
Just loving the broadcast, guys. You guys are fucking bringing the heat tonight. Everybody loves it in the chat.
Do you work at Burger King? Are you a pilot?
No,
what is your profession?
No, I was just logging in. I'm surprised as you are to see me online.
Well, do you have anything to say to the faithful? Have you been soaking cards lately? What does your
I
girlfriend think
haven't,
about your
man. I'm a
cards?
purist. I am a purist. I'm old, and I can't believe that this is even a fucking conversation. But it takes me back to when grading was new, when everybody thought that grading was just a phase, and now there are 5 or 6 companies, and I think that the soaking genie has been let out of the bottle, unfortunately.
It certainly looked like that. This guy, I mean, these guys are all over Instagram doing this, so this is absolutely incredible. Jim, we appreciate you checking in.
Thank you,
Tell
boys.
your wife thank you as well for letting you watch. And
we have more.
Oh, we got more people. Who we got?
This guy looks like he's like at a card show or something.
Big
what's up,
Fungus, what do
fellas?
you got? What you got
Yeah,
for us,
I just
buddy?
wanted to say my wife's boyfriend isn't around, so I was able to call in today. So I
Nice.
just wanted to say, you guys are great, and fuck Jeff Wilson.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You guys heard it here
Reds
first. Fuck Jeff
West.
Wilson.
Reds West just donated $100.
Reds West, we appreciate you. Litigation defense fund. We're gonna need it. We're
Wow,
gonna need it.
$100. Thank you, Mr. Reds
Group
West.
break checklist. Mr. Group break checklist. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, we know
over
what that
the
is.
years over there. Reds West.
Did he sell Group Break Checklist? Why is
Ooh, I hope he did.
like is Group Break Checklist not around anymore? Is it not around anymore? Or did he
we
sell
got to
it?
get the answer to that.
Because if he did sell it, maybe connect us who bought it. And we have a website and a YouTube channel we'd like to sell as well. I thought this was maybe it's not.
Maybe it's gone.
I mean, it was a lot of work. Like a lot of work.
I get
A lot of work. He
$4.
did a very good job there for a long time.
Goddamn right, he did. Great
Thank
job.
you for the $100.
The group breakers back before Jeff Wilson came into the scene loved this guy. I mean, he was the only guy putting up the checklist.
That's true. It's
$96.80
because
Tim gets $4.20. Tim, I sent you a package today, and when you get it, you actually gotta. One of the things I sent you've got to wear it on the stream, and you might actually have to wear it when you're in your little MILF's house in SoCal as well.
Oh, all right.
So hopefully you guys want to call in. This was all sparked by a guy who said he was going to call in, then he never did. And so we're like, oh, fuck it. Well, we'll just let anybody call in now. Maybe Dave Sports Cards. Again, this is the shop owner in Georgia who's not named Jeff Wilson. Maybe he will call in because, boy, he's been doing a lot of calling to his customers that he's pissed off at. Again, I showed you something from July where he threatened to sue a customer. We've got new text messages. Oh, boy, this is from the other day. This got sent to us by a guy who read our article, and then he sent us these recent texts. So I guess this review came in at 1 a.m. And so Dave Sports Cards does the same thing. He finds this guy. Why'd you write that trash? Get a life. Then he mentioned the guy in his Instagram story and made fun of his wife. That's what this is right there.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Dave Sports Cards, the owner of Dave Sports Cards in Georgia, literally like made fun of a guy's wife in his story that left a negative review. He said, "Oh, Ricky boy, don't block us. We've just started to have fun." Then he mentioned him again in this story. Then he started calling him at 10:05 p.m., at 10:05 p.m., at 10:07 p.m., at 10:08 p.m. So the guy who left the review finally responded to him and said, "Dude, don't ever call me or text me again. Good riddance." Dave Sports Card said, "Still a effing coward I see. Just answer the phone." The guy's like, "Let me know what you're looking for, Dave." And the shop owner's just going crazy. "Call me back, bitch. Why won't you take my call? What a fucking bitch you are." Then the customer kind of tries to calm him down. "Hey, we can talk business and cards, but don't bring our families into it." That was what this was. He literally mentioned his wife, made fun of his wife on his Instagram stories. He's like, "Man, don't bring the families into it."
Do we know the context of how he made fun of his wife? Or we just know that he made fun of her in some way?
I think it might have been weight, but I'd have to go back and look at it. Yeah, he went in hard. He said, Dave Sports Card says your family is as worthless as you are, I bet. Call me back, bitch. So the guy is still trying to calm him down. He says, "Call me back. You know what? It's all good." And he says, "You know what? It's all good. I got your address already. Have a great night. Sleep tight." And that's when the customer was like, fuck you, bitch, you gonna come over? I'll see you around, Ricky. Take care. And so this may not be the most interesting part of the story. Again, we have a shop owner who threatened to sue somebody in July. Here he is a few days ago. I mean, making all kinds of threats, putting his wife on the fucking Instagram stories. Well, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Dave Sports Cards has 2 locations in the Georgia area. One, I think, like in Roswell. Well, he opened a store in May. Like less than a year ago, he opened a grand opening, May 6th, in a Peachtree Street in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm going to show you a map exactly where that is compared to your other favorite hobby shop. So look, this grand opening was May 6th. This fucking was crazy to me. There was a grand opening May 6th. Here's the store. It looks decent. It's not 15,000 square feet, but it's kind of nice. Kind of, hey, cool. Look at this. This is from December. This is like 7 months later. Atlanta, we love you. We tried our best this past year, but there is not enough traffic to have our store open in Midtown. Please visit our Roswell store, which is open 7 days a week. So this guy opened a store in May, closes it in December in Atlanta. And he says there's not enough traffic to have our store in Midtown remain open. Well, you think, well, where the hell is this store? Well, here was Dave Sports Cards. Here's our boy Jeff Wilson at Cards HQ. They're only 9 miles apart.
And
so
Dave's,
to me, this
Dave's in the heart of downtown, even.
Right. He was like down there, really down here. And so now, hey, you can go 9 miles in Stockton and be in the nicest neighborhood maybe you've ever seen, and then be in the straight hood. So 9 miles is a lot. And I don't want to discredit that, but I did think it was interesting. I also want to point out another thing, that this guy opened a card store and then it closed. You know when it closed? Oh, just a few months after he appeared on Sports Card Radio. This article got 41 comments. So it looks like more than a few people have perused this article, it looks like. So he appeared on Sports Card Radio, which you do not want to appear on the website. You might want to be able to call in and appear on the show. That might make you a king in the hobby. That might make you in the hobby. But if you appear on our website, bad things might happen. And just a few months later, his store was closed. So what do you think about this crazy story about Dave? He literally, here's 2 different times he's come after a customer who left a 1-star review. I mean, come after him in like a Psycho X kind of way, like Psycho X girlfriend kind of way. I mean, this is calling you and posting you and saying he's going to come to your address. Super weird that he opened a store in May. Now it's closed and it's literally 9 miles from Jeff's shops. I did notice that Jeff hired, I think, a couple people that worked at Dave Sports Cards. I thought that was also interesting. What are your thoughts about Dave and his happenings over here in Atlanta?
Yeah, well, yeah. Hopefully Jeff didn't hire the customer relations manager over at Dave Sports Cards, because that certainly seems to be lacking at the current time. But story looks like it checks out. This guy, I mean, I tell you what, you're going to open a business and you're going to take some criticism, whether you run a 5-star fine dining Michelin star restaurant, 5-star 5-diamond hotel. Every company, every business faces criticism out there. It doesn't matter who you are, what you are, you're going to face some criticism. If you're a sports card shop, certainly you're going to get some reviews that aren't maybe, just look at Jeff Wilson. The guy spent $3 million on a card shop, and there's going to be people that go in there and be like, this is not really for me. So, and those people might be drama queens. Those people might not be worth engaging in the hobby. And we should just stick to our corner of the internet. And maybe that's what we're doing. But, I don't think this is particularly bullish for Cards HQ future. Again, I'm not an expert in the Atlanta area. Could be like a lot of places out here in California where the downtown area is no longer. Like if you go to downtown San Francisco, the financial district on like a Wednesday, like it used to be like you couldn't get up and down the street. Now you can walk pretty freely. Everybody's moved out of the downtown area. I mean, some of it has to do with the politics and the crime and stuff that they've allowed to fester out here in California. Some of it just happened to be pandemic. A lot of people used to work in office buildings. They used to have to go to Midtown, downtown, those types of areas. And it could be that Cards HQ is located where everybody moved.
Wait a minute. We all know that Atlanta is the tech capital of the world because Jeff has told you that he's a tech investor from Atlanta. So stop. Atlanta's the tech capital of the world. It's booming like fucking New York City at its peak. So let's stop. So, but I mean, do you think the stress is just getting to this guy? We've seen him pop off here a couple different times, and it looks like he maybe overextended himself trying to open a second store. And for a store to close in 7 months, I mean, usually sign like at least a 1-year lease. Usually in retail,
it's pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal, but the guy clearly can't handle himself from a customer service perspective. He really should outsource that to somebody else and maybe try to ignore the reviews that get posted online. And by the way, most of these companies, if you pay them, they'll take the reviews down. So, just get a premium account at Yelp, get a premium account at Google, and they'll do their best to hide the 1-star reviews and all those types of things. So there's ways to handle these things. You don't have to text people. You certainly don't have to make fun of people's wives and things like that. Although we've probably been known to do that every once in a while here on Sports Card Radio.
Tim's been doing a lot of other things to these wives over here.
Yeah, we've been at the Sports Card Radio, and it's hide your kid, but definitely hide your wife when Sports Card Radio comes on every Thursday night. It is 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:06 out here on the beautiful West Coast. Ryan, what other topics do we have tonight?
I'm still waiting for David to call in, so maybe let me check the bids on my cards here, but I'm still waiting for Dave to call in.
Drop the link again.
And bless us with his presence and tell us. He said he was going to tell us all these things and he was going to shed light on things. We didn't know what we were talking about. We won't let him on. Here we've probably led on about 6 or 7 people trying to get them, get Dave on the air, and he won't come on.
It's unfortunate.
So don't come into the chat room puffing your chest, beating your chest like you're rolling up to a neighborhood in Stockton and saying, I'm the shit. And then when the homies come out, you run away scared. Don't do that. Just get on, say whatever you want to say. We're going to let you talk. We'll ask you about your girlfriend. We'll ask you about your job at Burger King or your pilot school, whatever you got going on. And then we'll
out here in California, you making $20 an hour now at Burger King. That dude's like,
well, you making 6 figure. Yeah, you making 6 figures in California. Shit, it was like 20. I saw I went to In-N-Out, and it was like you started at $22 an hour, and I was thinking to myself, like, fuck, I'm gonna get an application. Like until the 20 million, till the 20 million from Sports Card Radio comes in, boy, I'm gonna be flipping burgers, baby.
Definitely. I think people want a Joe Morelli update and maybe like a StarStock update as well. So this is definitely hide your kids, hide your wife hour.
Yeah, we have an update. We have an update on Joe Morelli and StarStock.
Maybe recap very quickly what happened here, and then maybe give everybody an update on what's happened since then.
Okay. About a week ago, did a video on StarStock where I was basically kind of like slamming the influencers who promoted StarStock. StarStock recently implemented some fees, and we actually heard from somebody who's currently working at StarStock. So we'll get into that as well. We heard from Joe Morelli and a current employee of StarStock. We'll get into their tweets and kind of responding to that. We also heard from Brandon Steiner, who apparently wanted to come on for an interview. The link's in the chat, Brandon, if you want to join, if you want to call in. So we'll get into all of that. But to recap the situation, about a week ago, we were sitting there watching the Masters, and Joe Morelli texted me. Basically, he was furious that I put his name in a video. And now all I mentioned Joe Morelli in this video, I showed an email where StarStock wanted to sponsor our website. This is a video that I made about a week ago where I was talking about StarStock and their new fees. And I said, hey, at one point, StarStock tried to sponsor us. And I showed this email, which does have Joe Morelli's name, but I never showed his face. I never mentioned his name. I never talked about him in any kind of way during the video. The video wasn't about Joe Morelli. I've talked to Joe Morelli on the phone in 2022. I think he's a young guy. He was cordial to me. I had positive things to say about him. It was not a hit piece on Joe Morelli at one bit. For whatever reason, Joe Morelli watched the video. He was furious that a very common name, Joe Morelli, was shown, his name, and he was absolutely furious. And he says, next time you put my name in a video, blah, 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 centered around fraud, I think it's bullshit. Well, it didn't just stop there. He also sent me my address. How about you just meet me at my address out here in California? He said, my name goes on your channel tonight. You're done. He said, you're messing with the wrong person. He says, I'd put you 6 feet under in a fight. He said, he's very sad for me. He says, our parents will be brought into this. He says, nah, I'll just come see you in person. Better learn how to fight. I mean, him and Dave are like cut from the same cloth. Our boy Dave are like, the same people. They're just trying to be intimidating. This kind of, oh, I'm macho, I'm tough, I'm going to come find you. He threw a couple people under the bus. Mark Zablow of Arena Club and Bleecker Trading. Now, he edited those tweets, but he said, hey, I should investigate those people. I guess he doesn't think all our investigations are that bad. Well, I thought that's where we were going to leave it. I thought that was it. Hey, this little kid kind of popped off, and he was really wrong in being mad. The video was not about Joe Morelli. At no point did I mention him, show his face, identify him in any way, except show his name on an email he sent me. He sent us this email. This wasn't me digging for information. He sent us this email, and I showed it on a video. But wasn't attacking him in any way. He took it the wrong way, and I thought, hey, he's cooled off. I didn't put this article up. We talked about him on our live stream. We kind of had some fun with it. He showed us our address. Oh, what a tough guy. This guy Morelli's going to come fight us. Wait till you see this picture I'm about to show you now. I mean, I'm terrified over here that Joe Morelli's going to show up at my door any minute, and this guy's going to knock on my door, and I'm going to be like, do you have Girl Scout cookies? Like, what are you selling me? Like, what is this for? Like solar? No, I don't want solar on my house, Joe. Oh, wait. Oh, you're going to come fight me. Oh, pow. Anyways, he leaves a comment like 2 days ago on our video. So 6 days had passed. I thought Joe Morelli was going to be a distant memory, but no, he's still mad. And now I'm not going to read this whole thing, but if you read it, you think it starts well. He says, I'd like to formally apologize. But much like Kurt's Card Care and some of these other guys, Jeff Wilson, the deflecting comes like fucking 4 sentences in. He says, I would like to point out how Sports Card Radio fails to disclose the text where he was the first one to instigate and leak personal information in a threatening manner. Okay, we'll go through the stupid text. Here he is in 2022 emailing me saying, hey, we had a good phone conversation. He wanted to check in because they wanted to sponsor us. I ghosted him because we didn't need a sponsorship, didn't want a sponsorship. He was young, sounded inexperienced, wasn't going to work out. Anyways, he texted me. That's how he had my phone number in 2022. Hey, it's Joe. Good talking to you last week. Just wanted to see what the next steps were. I ghosted him. Then I hear from him 2 years later about the name being in the video. He's mad about his name, not his face, not anything about him being shown in the video, just his name. So he's mad about that. Then he sends me this. So let me show you the responses. He says he's mad. I say, he mentions how he has a high-level position. I'm in a high-level position now, and having my name front and center on a fraud story is not the smartest thing to do on your part. So I told him, if you have a high-level position, pissing me off, pissing Sports Card Radio off might not be the smartest thing you can do, Joe. You take accountability for you. Okay? Don't deflect. Take accountability for you. So pissing me off might be fucking stupid. He responded to that. You can see there was a reply to this. And so, but you have to click on it because he edited it. iPhone's kind of weird. He says, I'll piss you off all I want. The fuck you gonna do, fat Zo? But he edited it to say, I'll piss you off all I want. The fuck you gonna do, virgin? So this is former employee.
You went from fat to being a virgin.
No, Colin, we went from having, it was great to talk to you, to the fuck you putting my name in your video, to you're a fucking fatso and a virgin.
And what's interesting is he says you put him in a video centered around fraud. I don't know if that I don't remember the video. But
you didn't
like
watch the
I
video.
don't think the video was really centered around fraud. I think, like you said, it was more or less about, oh, all these influencers sent you to a second tier website, and now eBay has basically made an investment into the 2 websites we've bought off predominantly over the last year or so, or several years, more or less. And so it was more or less highlighting that fact that you had influencers direct you to StarStock, direct you to Dibs, direct you all the like second tier, third tier grading companies. Whereas like, like, look, if you want to sell your house, are you going to call your cousin who works at Burger King, or are you going to call a realtor? You know what I mean? And it just kind of felt like during the pandemic, when you had all these new influencers come on the scene, you had Jeff Wilson come onto the scene, they were recommending, instead of selling your cards at the premier destinations, again, just like if you're going to sell your house, you're going to call a realtor, and you probably, if you're smart, you call the best one in your city, and you call the best realtor with all the contacts. You call that person, and they're going to sell your house. They're going to make you happy. But instead, Jeff Wilson, Card Collector 2, whoever else was pumping StarStock, I don't remember who it was, but they were basically directing you to like, no, don't call the best realtor in town, guys. In fact, don't even call a realtor. Call somebody that just started up, has no track record in the industry, doesn't have a lot of experience. Joe Morelli even said and admitted as much, that he doesn't collect cards and he doesn't care about cards. So they're staffed up with people that don't care about cards, don't collect cards, have no track record of success in this hobby, have no track record of taking care of collectors, taking care of the hobby. Oh, StarStock's new on the scene. Oh, this must be good. This must be good. And I think that's what the video was more or less about, is that time and time again, people want to love the underdog story in this hobby when the Michael Jordan of auction houses is out there. The Michael Jordan of vaults and consignment centers already exist in the hobby. You can either place your bets with Michael Jordan or go with somebody that's a scrub and up and coming. I think that's more or less what the video is about. Joe Morelli upset that he's in there, and certainly he's parlayed this now into he's on the website. And a lot of people out there might be like, oh, well, who cares if he's on Sports Card Radio? Guys, we've gotten a number of requests over the years, Ryan, and you can confirm this. More recently, we actually got a request to take something down. It is not good to be on Sports Card Radio, whether it's a YouTube video or certainly the website. When you search his name, it might not be today, but over the next couple of weeks, you search his name, this article will come up. You search images of him, this is going to come up. When he gets a background check for his next high-level, quote, high-level position, this is going to come up. And this is not good. This is not good. And so when you approach Sports Card Radio, when you approach two people from Stockton, California, you should think about what you're doing. We're not from Oklahoma. We're not from Omaha, Nebraska. We're not from Austin, Texas. We're not from there. We're from Stockton, California, which is one of the most dangerous places in the country, let alone in California. You don't pull up and approach us with the tone that he pulled up with. Not that we need the utmost respect.
Look. I was going to let him off the hook until he came back and then started deflecting and trying to basically blame me. So I want to go. I want to go through all the text because he said I was the one who instigated to leak his personal information in a threatening manner. So I just want to go through the fucking text again. He said we had a great conversation. Then he was mad I put his name in a video, which I'm perfectly allowed to do because he sent me an email. He says he has a high-level position. I say pissing me off might be a dumb thing to do. Fact. Dave Sports Card found that out. Pissing Sports Card Radio off and getting your name on there. Bad idea. Your shop might close a few months later. He edits the message calling me a fatso, then changing it to virgin. I might be fat, but I'm definitely not a virgin. Maybe the way Joe Morelli swings, I'm a virgin, but definitely not in my sexuality. I'm not a virgin.
Are you saying you're a virgin from being a top or a bottom? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay.
Anyways, he continues rage texting me. He even edits this one. He edits, I don't know why he edits fatso out. Maybe he looked at me and he was like, well, he's not as fat as like some of these other guys in the card industry. He says, remove the video, blur my name. I don't want to be a part of this drama. Y'all are a bunch of con artists and losers. There's more to life than sports cards, you loser. Get a grip. I hope you figure it out, you severely troubled individual. For some reason on my text stream, the Fatso and the Virgin things come up. And I explained to him, I said, buddy, you sent me an email. I can show it on video. Sorry you're upset, but there's nothing I'm willing to do for you. Go call your mommy. I didn't text him that, but that was basically, hey, buddy, go call your mommy. And this is where he makes a mistake. He says, just wouldn't be ideal if a client of mine who collects cards and watches your videos and sees my name, then I got some explaining to do. Wouldn't be ideal. So I told him, sees the video. I can just forward any of these texts to anybody you work with. I could put a fucking article on my website that has your name and picture and all these stupid text over here. And anybody, maybe any prospective client in the future sees how you treated me. Remember, this all goes back to Joe said, hey, it was really great talking to you, bro. I was a client of Joe. So Joe's willing to treat me like this. He says, go ahead and do it. Please do. He continues in his comment that he left a few days ago. We all know Sports Card Radio has very malicious, threatening, and violent content on his page. Violent content. And if anyone can't agree with that, that's where we disagree.
Hold on. Some people might consider what Tim is doing to another man's wife maybe
Violent. Maybe an act
maybe
of
there's
violence.
some violent, some choking, some bondage, some things like that.
I'm a lover.
So I can see there could be
He's a
some
lover.
content.
He says he's a lover.
Okay, it's more of a sensual environment. Okay, then
So again,
I
if
think
you-
he's wrong here. Then I think he's wrong.
Again, if you want to apologize, just apologize. Then don't say I failed to do this, or I make violent content, or I'm malicious, or I'm threatening. Shut the fuck up, Joe. Just shut up. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay. Here, I'll just put you on my fucking website because I'm tired of this shit. And that set him off. And we can get to probably some of the best text I've ever received.
There's more?
Yes. So after I put up the
Oh my
article,
God.
he said, you, your brother, and your parents will be getting a summons soon.
From who?
Threatening that we're going to be sued. Hope your wallet is as big as your mouth. Like I said, I'm not the one to fuck with. And before you go posting saying I made death threats, you total loser, these are legal threats. My family consists of top lawyers, state prosecutors, and state and federal judges. You will be deplatformed and pay money out of pocket to all of those that you affected. Jeff Wilson right now is just pumping. He's like, yeah, go, Joe.
He's like,
if you don't
go, Joe.
Joe continues, if you don't think I'm already in contact with almost everybody you wrote hit pieces on, and I'm still doing my research, then you truly don't know what's coming to you. You're about to get class actioned so damn hard. I bet Joe's used to getting something so damn hard, but he says we're going to get class actioned so damn hard. Oh, he's not done. He's not done, guys.
Oh my
He says,
God.
don't think I saw my name once and snapped. I know who you are, and I've heard some things you've said about others. I mean, you could just go to our YouTube channel or log in right now and see what we're saying.
We even have
called
a clips channel where we take the best things that we say about people in a derogatory manner, and we actually clip that out and then put it over there. So yeah,
I'm sure this
If you
will end
see
up over
anything,
there.
Joe, hold on. If Joe, you see anything that we've said derogatory about other people and how we've snapped, timestamp it so we can actually pull that piece out and then highlight it on the clips channel. Maybe send it to our social feed. They really do like that type of thing.
And this, hey, all you influencers who pumped StarStock, you guys want to sit down, take a breath, get a sip of water, get cuddle up to your mommy, be the little spoon for a moment, because this is Joe Morelli takes a swipe at you with this next comment. He says, you're going down this time. I'm not a pussy like these other little influencers. I'll take you on. I'll take you head fucking on, Ryan. So he literally, Joe Morelli, when he says, I'm not a pussy like these little other influencers, who do you think he's talking about, guys? Who do you think he's talking about? So here's a former employee of StarStock just backhanding all the people they paid to promote that stupid website. So you can see how I responded, 3 laughing emoji, and I just said kids these days because I'm like, wow, this is This guy, man, I want to grow up in Mamaroneck, New Jersey, or New York, where you can just say these type of things to people with no consequences, no accountability, no accountability whatsoever from your parents, from a gangster, from your friend, from your brother, from a family member, from a chat room, from anybody, from an employer, anybody, that you can just say these things. And it's like you've never been held accountable in your life. So he wants to let the record to show that you were a bull. I was such a bully that I showed his name in a video, played the victim because that's all you know how to do. I'm a virgin. I'm a fatso. And I am a pathetic excuse for a life. And that, my friends, we've got more text to show from the current StarStock employee, but that is, this article did get a lot of play, 80,000 views on Twitter. The website itself, I'm sure, got thousands of views on this article. So I wouldn't shock me if I got more views than Collected did yesterday, Darren Ravel's site, but that's maybe a story for another day. But I do want to take a minute before I get to the response from StarStock, where they said we're spreading lies and we're bullshit. We'll get into all that. But I want to give you a moment to comment about, this big gangster, this big tough guy, Joe Morelli, straight out of The Sopranos. I mean, man, he's just terrifying guy, masculine. What do you think about Joe Morelli? You're getting sued too. I mean, our parents are. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean,
in here.
Is he in here? Okay, well, we'll drop the link.
Well, here he can call in. Call in, Joe.
I think he's upset about being on the website, but maybe he'll call in and
maybe he will
be on in that fashion. I don't know. Like, to me, it's like, if you're going to, like, where we're from, if you're going to pull up, you don't say, well, I'm going to go get my dad first. You know what I mean? Seems a little soft in that sense. This has happened to us a number of different times over the years. In fact, I've lost count. This definitely, it seems a little bit more like whiny than the other attempts in the past. I think he's standing on a pretty loose pavement, if you will. I don't know the analogy, but we've actually gone at people. I don't even think we went at Joe, like you said.
I explained that.
Yeah, like, we didn't even go after him. You know what I mean? Like, we've actually gone after people. There's a reason why we're blocked by PSA. I'm blocked by most of the employees at Leaf. There's employees at Tops that have us blocked. There's employees at Panini that have us blocked. There's a lot of other collectors and other people in the hobby that have us blocked. PWCC probably don't want to talk to us because they had to sell their site for $1 when it was probably worth a lot more 3 or 4 years ago. Betsy may want to talk to you, maybe not. There's a lot of people. Yeah, well, yeah, for you, yeah. There's a lot of people we have gone after in this hobby. There's a lot of people that we actually have gone hard at. Certainly, if you listen to a lot of the old podcasts, where you can say maybe the freedom of speech on a podcast is slightly maybe freer than it is here on YouTube. And I'm certainly not complaining of that. My life has been changed from YouTube, not Sports Card Radio, but in general, YouTube has positively impacted my life. So I do respect the rules, just like we respect PSA grading rules and other rules out there. We may not, agree with them, every aspect of them, but we do respect them. We've gone hard at people. And to me, it's like a real man, instead of saying, I'm going to sue, you just sue. Instead of saying, I'm going to show up at your house, you just show up.
Show up.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't say, oh, I'm going to do this. Just do it. Just pull up and do it. Stop talking. Stop saying you're going to do this.
Oh, you could see. Look what I did. Your name, your picture, your LinkedIn. He deleted his LinkedIn. Will all be shown tonight, which I did. I'm grown and not scared. Can add it here too, which I did. When I say I'm going to do something, I actually do it. So when you say, oh, I'm going to meet you here, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to sue you, or I'm going to sue your entire family, and then you don't, you inevitably don't. Do you know how weak that makes you look?
Well, he already has
itch that makes you look.
I don't know if he's even shaving yet. And so, look, and it may be just a generational gap as well. We're getting a little bit older. We're on the other side of certainly our 30s at this point. And so, it could be a generational gap at this point. New generation comes in, we start being kind of the old guy in the room, and we don't get the new generation. But you did bring up a good point. If you run your mouth like this on a playground in the schools that we grew up in, somebody would call your bluff and say,
There'd be
okay,
accountability. There would be
right.
accountability. If these guys, Joe Morelli's never held himself accountable, obviously. And then when he gets mad and gets called out, he tries to deflect it onto us. The same thing Kurt's Card Care did today. I asked Kurt Card Care about his suspended PSA account and the cards that got deactivated. And it's, oh, you guys called us a sexual predator and a drug user. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck does my brother and my parents and all this shit have to do? What does your family have to do with anything about me showing an email in a video?
Yeah, it's okay if he was offended by that and he took it personally, and for that,
we're not sorry about shit.
No, we're not.
So
and
look,
yeah,
look, this story's not about us. It kind of became about us because Joe flew out the handle and started rage texting us. But this is about this crap company StarStock that Jeff Wilson, P. Ryan Collection, Ty Wilson of Chasing Cardboard, among others, promoted heavily. StarStock raised $10 million. Where did all that money go? $10 million. Where the fuck did all that money go? That's like they raised 3 times more than Jeff Wilson spent on his stupid card shop. And StarStock basically probably had to sell for scraps. Well, anyways, I posted this tweet yesterday. Former StarStock employee saying he's going to sue my entire family. That obviously got a lot of play because these text messages are explosive and hysterical coming from some former employee of StarStock. This guy, Grayson, I bet he's a day over 12 years old. He responds. He says, I work for Collectibles Exchange, the company that bought StarStock. We have no affiliation with Joe Morelli. No shit, because he's a scrub. At Sports Card Radio has spread lies about the current state of our company and has declined to have our CEO, Brandon, on the show so he can clear the air. We're going to clear that air in a minute. Ask me anything about StarStock. So again, when he says that we declined to have CEO Brandon Steiner, the CEO of StarStock, on the show so he can clear the air, he says we declined that. Look at the email these fuckers sent me. Look at this, guys. This is from April 11th. So this is whatever, a week ago. It says, hey, period. What you think about having us a talk? And then there is nothing in the email except the footer, which is Brandon Steiner. And then it says bsteiner@cxstuff.com. But when you click down here, I didn't show his email. It came from like Brandon Steiner 1981@gmail.com. So I thought it was being trolled. I literally thought, I was like, this isn't the real Brandon Steiner. It didn't come from this email address. What the hell is, hey, what do you think about us having a talk? But no, I said, I didn't respond to you because this was the email you sent. And then he said, oh, I was told an email was sent and didn't realize it was that. And this is me at my best. Where can I reach out so that we can set something up? So I responded. I said, I'm easy to get a hold of, which is true, but it's not free to get on Sports Card Radio. I noticed that StarStock had no problem. The whole video was about how they fucking levied these fees on these users. That was a game killer for the site. That ruins the site. That if Check Out My Cards did the similar thing, we'd go live and wouldn't go live until they took the fees away. It's the dumbest thing in the history. We'll go over the fees in a minute. But when he says, oh, I sent you this email to try to get on the show. Hey, what you think about having us a talk? Maybe this works for Jeremy Lee. Maybe this works for Jeff Wilson. I don't respond to emails like this. And when you just so brazenly say, oh, where can I reach out and set something up? Could you get on Jeff Wilson's channel for free? So if you want to come on Sports Card Radio, whatever you pay Jeff Wilson, we'll take that and you can come on and have the whole fucking platform. It's not free to come on Sports Card Radio. We gave some people an opportunity to come on free today, And you can see they've wussed out, Joe and David specifically. Grayson, who works at StarStock, currently works at StarStock, says, I'm not going to try to start any issues with you or correct the lies you've spread. Again, he said one of the lies was that we declined to have our CEO, Brandon, on the show. Bro, I didn't decline shit. This was the email I got. Like, this is what I got. Send a check. If you're just going to say whatever about us, then at least give us a chance to respond or ask for comment. That's what your Instagram page is for. That's what your Twitter feed is for. That's why you can go live and comment yourself. I don't need to do that for you. I had one of your former employees saying he was going to sue me, saying he was going to come to my house and put me 6 feet under. I don't owe you shit, Grayson. Grayson says, also, you neglected to mention the following. The fee is not in place, and nowhere does it state cards will be forfeited if you don't pay the fee. Now, what they implemented was a 1 cent a month per card fee, which is the dumb. So you could have a 10-cent card, and in 12 months, you'd be underwater on the card if you had money in your account. So if you had 1,000 cards sitting in StarStock, it would cost you $10 a month just to store them there. Dumbest idea in the history of the world. Apparently, it's stupid.
Like 1,000 cards, obviously.
Nobody does that.
Even in like where Tim lives, you know, to store 1,000 cards for $10 a month. I mean, you could do it in a beach house for cheaper than that.
You're goddamn right. So he said, so for some reason they announced these fees on Instagram. Oh, but they're not in place yet. And oh, you won't forfeit the cards. You know where I got that you had to forfeit your cards was several of your customers who contacted you. Here's this guy on Instagram who responded to a StarStock post. I contacted them. I have 700 cards, mainly low-end stuff, 10 cents or less, for years. I can either pay $175 to ship them home or pay $7 a month to store them or donate them to StarStock, which is what I'll end up doing. So this guy says he contacted StarStock. He has 700 cards. It's either $175 to ship them home or it's $7 a month to store them or donate them. And this guy's saying that we're lying about this. I got that from several of his own customers. Now, the problem is there's already a game-killing fee on Star. That's why nobody uses StarStock, because they already several months ago implemented a fee that if you don't create a buy or sell order on their site in 6 months, $5 a month will be withdrawn from your account as a monthly maintenance fee. So if you have $50 in your account and you don't create a buy or sell order in 6 months, in 10 months, all your money is going to be gone. So if you got any money on StarStock, get it off now, immediately, and probably get any cards you want off the site. So it's very clear what's going to happen. This was a very clever way for the people who bought StarStock to one, get all the account balances on the site, get all the money, suck it off the site by charging this $5 and then implementing the 1 cent per card. Then what they're also going to do is get a bunch of cards, even if they're cheaper cards, donated to them that they can then turn around and sell. And then eventually StarStock will wipe off the face of the earth. And these owners who bought the site will be able to suck value out of that site by getting all the money off the site, getting some of the cards off the site, and maybe having some emails that they can spam you with some collect X stuff. So that I wanted to explain the entire situation. I had motherfuckers trying to reach out and contact me. And I know for a fact they didn't understand the situation. I know for a fact they didn't understand that Joe was just mad because I showed the email he sent me. I didn't show his face, didn't show his name, didn't mention his name. The video wasn't about him. Don't care about Joe. Showed a video where they tried to sponsor us and it said Joe Morelli. He popped off, started rage tweeting us, and that's led us to here, where now we have a current employee of StarStock. He says we're lying. I think he's the one lying. Again, he says we declined to have Brandon on the show. Here's the fucking stupid email. I'm not going to respond to that. Okay, Brandon can come on the show, but send us a check that you sent Jeff Wilson. Then they say the fee isn't in place. Well, why'd you announce it? Then they say that your cards won't be forfeited. Well, why have several people commented on your Instagram that they contacted you and they said they're going to have to donate the cards or pay $7 a month or $175 to ship them. So that to me is where we're at with StarStock. I bet all the influencers who pump this brand won't mention this. Get your cards, get your money off StarStock if you have anything of value on here. Period. Not every single one of these cards are cheap. Again, we've talked about PSA 10. I mean, Luka Doncic's cards have really gone down in value, but even a PSA 10 rookie card of his is worth money. How about a PSA 9 Derek Jeter foil, SP foil card? You think that's worth any money, Colin?
Yeah.
So this is why these people bought the site, because they might be able to end up with some of these cards. They certainly might end up with all your money, or they're going to just charge you 1 cent a month until you ship these cards from them, and then charge you an exorbitant amount to get them off. $175 to ship 700 cards seems like, boy, that's pretty good business. I'm not. Somebody was like, you guys are jealous of Kurt's Card Care because you don't have a product like this. No, I'm jealous of what StarStock, the guys who bought StarStock did. I wish I thought of that. Buy a site, jack up the fees, take all the money, take all the cards, stick a middle finger up at you, and Jeff won't hold you accountable. P. Ryan Collection won't hold you accountable. Card Collector 2 won't hold you accountable. Nobody in this industry will hold you accountable. I wish I thought of this myself. Hell of a business move to do this. Just rug pull the entire community. And we're the only ones who at least want to mention this, because hell if Check On My Cards tried to pull something like this. Hell if PSA Vault started saying, well, we're going to charge you 25 cents a month for each card. Fuck that. Don't even think about that, you fucking other vault sites, that you're going to do something like this. What are your thoughts on all this bullshit?
So we did get a response from P. Ryan. I am just reading it now. I won't read it word for word, but one of the things that he said is, sadly, I was never paid a sponsorship fee to promote StarStocks. I guess I was even dumber, as I invested in them. And so P. Ryan was not just a paid pumper, but he actually invested his own money in.
Could have invested in Sports Card Radio. I don't know how much you invested, but boy, imagine if you made that investment at Sports Card Radio at the same time. What would that be worth? We got a $20 million website. What's StarStock worth?
Well, yeah, I don't know what Steiner had acquired it for, or if he even had to, or the process of that.
Again, I wish I
have
thought
an inventory of cards. They have an inventory of cards, but we might have a stronger inventory of cards at this point than the website over at StarStocks, and probably a slightly better reputation at this point. So, again, guys, if you do want to invest in something in this hobby that can actually move the needle, that can actually generate eyeballs, generate interest, and maybe generate some change in the hobby. We're not going to take credit for a lot of this stuff, but we do, shine the light on the Tiffany cards out there, the Blowout Forum members that do a great job. We shine a light on AIH Sports, who does a lot of great videos. Dan the Cardman does a lot of great videos. There's a lot of people out there putting out a lot of good content, a lot of content that is, maybe questioning the hobby, maybe, shining a slightly different light, maybe being a drama queen, if you will. That's what I would invest in. You want to invest in something with a positive return.
Invest in the drama queens.
Invest in the drama queens. Because how did the hobby positivity crowd work out for you? You set up a 2nd tier, 3rd tier, 8th tier consignment site. You got athletes to invest. You raised millions and millions of dollars. You probably spent, God only knows, on the website, maybe a mobile app or whatever. You hired people like Joe Morelli, who don't even collect cards, don't even care about cards. So you got a staff, you got cards, you got inventory, you got influencers, you got the hobby positivity crowd to pump you. And what happened? What ended up happening? So maybe the better investment is actually the drama queens. Like, imagine, Ryan, if we wrote a book on hobby drama, do you think it would outsell Jeff Wilson's book?
We could have a section about how Jeff doesn't even have 352 marketing anymore. I mean, we could have, all kinds of things.
Oh,
did I just say that? Oh, I thought he was a big businessman. He had a bunch of businesses.
What happened to 352 marketing? Jeff Wilson isn't a part of it anymore.
Yeah, sounded like he let it go today. 27
Oh.
years. So
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
I guess those StarStock checks ran out.
I guess so. That's drama.
That is drama. So that's where we're at in this hobby. Is that honestly, these people should take the sponsorship money, because look what happens if you don't. Your family gets threatened. He puts your address in a thing. He said he's going to come up. 99 people out of 100 in this industry would be terrified by this. This would intimidate them. This is why this works. Jeff talks about bullying in his drama queen quote. What is threatening to sue somebody? What is threatening to sue somebody 3 days before Christmas and sending a FedEx to their house like Jeff Wilson did? Is that bullying? Is what Joe Morelli did bullying? None of you guys take account, not none of you, but a lot of you guys, especially you dumb motherfuckers, don't take any accountability in this industry. There's no accountability for yourself, and there's nobody holding anybody accountable. PSA is like terrified to do it. They deactivated these certified. They didn't put out a press release. They could have came out and like backhanded Kurt's card care at any moment. They're terrified to do it. Because hey, you might end up in Jeff Wilson's book, be labeled a drama queen. How does this end up in a book about sports card investing and collecting? That's what I want to know. Like Jeff was like, nope, we've got to leave the 2 paragraphs on drama queens in, guys. Like, we're not publishing this book on sports card collecting and investing that has like a 12-year-old kid on the front of it, unless we have this drama queens quote.
I mean, again, I'll just go back to saying drama sells, guys. Drama sells. We put up a lot of hobby. Be honest with you, Ryan. We put up a lot of hobby positivity content on our website. Most of the website is hobby positivity.
It's true.
But drama gets all the attention, and drama sells. But the hobby positivity stuff does make money too. There's plenty of ad dollars in the hobby positivity stuff as well. So,
do we want to go to the chat and talk to them?
we're trying to get people to call in.
We can just drop the link
to call in because he's been talking.
We got a little ways to go, guys. AIH Sports Kurt Card Care is getting soaked. I saw somebody say, "Ask Mormons about getting soaked." So I wonder if, or how.
Oh yeah, do you know what that means? Yeah, because that's how I know about soaking.
I do.
Like, yeah, okay.
I do.
Okay, we won't explain it. Yeah.
No.
Do you want to wait? Do you want to soak Mary Gamble?
I'm not going to answer that.
Okay, you're not going to answer that.
Who's that? Oh, that's the wrestler girl. Do I want to soak the wrestling girl? I'm not going to answer that.
Do you want to soak? Okay, you're not going to answer that.
No, I'm not.
Okay,
but looks like we're starting a Discord. I'll sign up.
There it is. Yeah, sign up for the Discord. Tim will be in there manning it, so get in there.
More buff, more muff had some funny comments tonight. He says Tim shoots his card care all over gorgeous married women.
That is correct.
That is correct. Bob Boozle, SCR, please help my wife lose 200 pounds. I think SCV Sports Cards in the chat. I think ask him about getting in shape, because we don't know much about it. Here.
We're fatzos. We're fatzos and virgins. Like, we can't help you there.
Sure. Yeah. Getting comics pressed, cleaned is commonplace, accepted in the industry. Why? Okay. I get this all the time. It is disclosed. When you get your comics pressed and cleaned, it has a different couple label, and it is disclosed. Period. End of story. Stop being an idiot, guys. Get an IQ above 38 and maybe come back a little bit harder in the paint than this comment. When you get your comic pressed and cleaned, it is disclosed. It has a purple label instead of a blue label. They even say on the label what was done. So stop. Just stop. If PSA had a different color label and was Kurt did this in the distilled water and 3 dips of the juice for 12 hours and the gum stain was taken off or the tape stain was taken off, no problem with that, guys. But again, the buyer of this Jackie Robinson does not want the card in this, does not want the card to be done like this. Period. End of story. And when you get your comic book cleaned and pressed, when you get your Monet painting cleaned and waxed and retouched up, that is disclosed. End of story. When your car is in an accident and you get it repaired, that is disclosed to the next buyer. Now, Kurt is trying to do the best job he possibly can to disclose this to people. And I think he's foolishly being too transparent here. But this goes against, disclose it next time. Hey, Glowbug, next time you do a PSA sub, get a little sticky note and write on there, I use Kurt Card Care on all these cards, period, and send that into PSA and see what happens to your order.
Maybe to all
Comic
your orders.
pressing and cleaning is disclosed. It has a different label. It is accepted in that industry. Maybe one day we wake up here and cleaning and pressing is accepted in the card industry, but it should be disclosed. So the guy that buys this Jackie Robinson knows what happened to it, and he can make his own decision on whether he wants one that's soaked in the juice or one that's not. And that's all that we're asking. You guys can soak and clean and do whatever you want with your card. You can even trim them. I don't care. Just disclose it, but you won't. When you submit your cards to PSA, you won't disclose that you trimmed it. You won't disclose that you put it in the sauce. You won't disclose that you rubbed it or wiped it. Only the absolute idiot morons do it. They show up at PSA's offices with $1 million card and they do it. And then they realize, oh wait, we said that? Oh shit. So just stop with, it's just ridiculous. The Kurt Locker, Fred S. Tiffany's cards. There are the cards and the subs. A 52 Willie Mays.
There it
48 Babe Ruth. Sounds expensive. 1909 Cy Young. 55 Clemente. 48 Musial. 54 Aaron. 55 Koufax. And an 04 somebody and a Jackie Robinson.
Isn't that his rookie? Hank Aaron rookie?
Yeah.
She said she was going to email list over to you guys.
Okay. Appreciate that.
Excellent. Because that those don't sound like $20 subs to me. This was an expensive order that just got decertified.
It's brutal. Will the Wemby 1/1 get decertified? Probably not, because PSA is a garbage company, guys. I mean, let's just be real. The company isn't very good at grading cards. The first card they ever graded was trimmed. Okay. And we were one of the only websites out there that were publicly covering the trim card scandal. They are terrible and still are at figuring this stuff out. So I don't think it's going to get decertified.
Yeah.
G Goose says, yeah, this is just downright harassment. Sports Card Radio, you guys have nothing but a bunch of simps. While you uncover the shadiness of the hobby, you guys are also a bunch of bullies. Well, again, Goose, you may or may not know what gender you are. I'll be a bully over not knowing what my gender is. Like most people in the generation of Kurt's Card Care. Joey Gomez with the $5. Did you see Sports Card Investor's latest video? Has a boy twerking in the background?
What?
Professional work over there for sure. I also saw somebody sent us a video. There was base cards in the garbage can of one of the cabanas. So somebody was doing a tour of the card shop, and he was in one of the cabanas, and then I don't know, for whatever reason, he showed the trash can, and there was base cards in there. So they're throwing away base cards, which again, to the generation of Kurt's Card Care, to people that spend $100,000 to get a gender studies degree, to people that are worried about their pronouns.
Here we go.
I mean, I don't know.
There.
I don't know, guys. I don't know, Ryan. I would take that off. It's not a good idea. Not a good idea.
Not a good look. Wow.
Not a good idea. No.
Wow. Jeff,
I mean,
clean up your editing.
I mean, yeah. Not great. Not great.
Can we get
Joey.
if we get some twerking, can we make sure that it's like fucking Becky Lynch or Mary Gamble? Like, fuck. God damn, we gotta get Chris Hansen. They're gonna be Chris Hansen at Cards HQ any minute, baby. We might have.
I hope when we show up at this, what's the Fanatics thing called? Fan Fest or whatever. I hope, if we see twerking there, it's from. I'm not gonna say that, but I didn't drink. If I was drinking, I would have made the comment, but I'm not going to say it. David Jones, I want to call in. We know David simped out and did not. David Jones,
He
you
never
call
called.
me. The fuck are you? Queen's Cards did call in. We appreciate him. Thank you for calling in, and thank you for the $1.99. $10 from Ice Rain J. I heard he was looking to get Conseco to promote Kurt's Card Juice. That'd be fantastic. Maybe we'd have Conseco on if he did that. That would be fantastic, I think. We have somebody in the guys. We're going.
This is the
We have another
legend.
call in.
This is the legend.
We have
This is
another
the
call in.
legend.
How
The
are we-
legend. How are we doing?
Hey guys,
So,
How are you?
Your wife lets you call in. Let it give us a hot take.
I just like to say, all that card cleaning shit is bullshit. I agree with you guys completely.
So
you
you
would
haven't
not
been
soak your
soaking your
cards.
cards.
Yeah, you
No
would not
why.
do this. What if your wife asked you to soak your cards? Would you do it then or no? You had to think about that.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
Absolutely not.
What if Tim's somebody else's wife told you to do that, which you would not do
Absolutely
that.
not.
Under no circumstances you're soaking cards.
Hell no.
Okay, very nice.
But long
You have a
time
job.
fan, guys.
Thank you. What
You
should
have a
happen to
job.
Kurt? What do you think should happen to Kurt?
No.
Our viewership is
It's incredible. It's absolutely
we have,
incredible.
We
We
have
have
the best.
the
We have the
best.
best fans and just absolutely
By far.
the best. By
By
far.
far.
By far.
It's,
I think
it's not
there's
even
a, you
close.
know, I think you can
Hilarious.
you can see Kurt's response to us, and you can see Joe Morelli's response to us, and I think we just, you know, we bring it on. We'll bring it on.
You got him right.
Stuff. David XXX $5. This is too funny. Thank you, David. Appreciate it. Another $5 from David. Will the real Dave Snyder please stand up?
Thank you.
Thank you. We do have some signed Eminem albums that we maybe should sell at some point. Billy Joe with the $20. This is run off the rails. I would agree. We probably deviated from the rails a little bit. Who is here and why are they here? Hello. Philly Joe. Sometimes I ask myself that as well.
Every
Fuck
day I get up in the
SDR.
morning.
I broke a rib 2 days ago. This hurts too much to listen. Sorry, S&T. Sorry. Hope that rib gets better.
Hey,
Kurt got Megan Rapone cut.
Maybe he can get some drugs now. He can get some drugs for the.
Maybe. Probably. Well, Kurt might sell those. This is the best live ever. Thank you, Jake. This is good TV. Thank you, Joshua. David Jones, SCR bitches. They talked to Burger King guy, but not me. Pretend like I didn't call in. Typical Stockton sissies, all bark now. But I tell you what, David, we'll be back here next week. There's still a couple minutes left in the show. We'll be back next week. You can always call in then. Yeah, we've been here, bro. Queen City card, $5. You asked why pics of tapes on my cards. Yes, I graded them and sold them. Okay. But point was no Kurt's juice or lube wax. Wanted to make you proud. Queen, you're always making us proud. We might even call you Drama Queen City.
Drama Queen City.
Thank you. You're always making us proud. Everybody, all 1,100 of you make us proud, except for David Snyder, who did not call in. Wax Packs Rips with the $4.99. Eight you guys going to respond to my diss track I made about you, Pictures of Men, SCR diss. It's on my channel. So Pictures of Men, SCR diss, Ryan, on YouTube. This is world premiere.
I don't know if I could play it. Unfortunately, I don't know if I could play it. Is it this guy right here?
I think he's got 3 subscribers. There it is.
Oh, there we go.
Folks, there it is. 7 days ago, he's got 17 views. Let's pump this up a little bit. Let's get this guy some subscribers. He's got 95 comments. Wait, how does he have 95 comments and only 17 views? That seems
Maybe it's wrong or something. I don't know.
Maybe there's something wrong there. I think he's doing better than 17 views.
I think he is doing better than 17 views.
Thank you, Waxbacks. I will check that out after the show. Thanks for the $4.99. And thanks for the track. It has always been You know, I've always wanted to get on a track.
Look at us right there. We're like Batman and Robin. You're Batman, and it looks like I'm Robin.
I have
Look at that.
Yeah, that is fantastic. Yeah, that is fantastic. Maybe I could download that some way or just
I'm
screenshot it.
listening to it right now.
Is it good?
Pictures of. Oh, it's actually okay. Yeah, send us a thing. We'll have to play that maybe. Yeah, we got to play
Okay.
that. That's
If you can send us a raw file, or maybe rip it off there or something.
Maybe.
Thank you, Wax. Reds rest. I tell you what, Ryan. I know you know
Look at
sometimes
us.
you go on. Oh, man, I mean the graphics are fantastic. Ryan, sometimes you go on dates where a transaction takes place. So the $100 from Reds West is absolutely going to help out.
Yeah,
Probably will add an extra 15 minutes to your next date.
Guys, I'm going to be in Vegas for a whole week, so you know that's going to go. That's like I need a lot of hundos.
Yeah, that's going to get dusted off at what was it, the Spearmint Rhino? David Snyder. I think this has got to be a different one. $9.99. Any update on the Austin trip? If a card has an old PSA 10 label, will PSA put a new PSA 10 label on it? Hope all is well. Checking out Rolex next week. Nice. The Tesla has paused Cybertruck deliveries. That's my understanding. I'm probably maybe get one by the end of the year. I would like to go to the great state of Texas, including Austin. When I go, we'll certainly make that public. Our next trip is probably New York City. Will PSA put a new label on a PSA 10? I would assume so.
They would, but I don't think it's blanket. Like you could hand them the card, and technically it's supposed to go 10.
Don't they have like a reholder thing? Don't they have like
they have a reholder, but they will sometimes look at the card. Now I think it's pretty rare that they're going to downgrade you like a 10 to a 9. That's kind of a messed up thing to do. But yeah, going old holder to new holder, it's my understanding they do look at the card because it can shift around. Somebody could try to inject it with Kurt's juice. They got to look at it again, make sure it's real, that you didn't like try to swap it out and try to like run some kind of scam on them. I think it's low risk to do something like that, but there is at least a slight risk that it might not come back a 10.
Look, I like the old label stuff because it's before the juice. I like, you know what I mean? When I see, and maybe even before some of this trimming stuff. So when I see an old label, it's almost like PCGS. PCGS has these old green holders. Some people actually pay a premium for those because it predates a lot of the shadiness. They also thought that the grading standard of PCGS was harder in the past. So one in an old green holder, MS64, might grade 65, 66 today. And so I like the old PSA holder. The older, the better. I would leave it personally. That would just be my take. Scott Farkas says Dave's boyfriend is rubbing his shoulders, whispering in his ear, "You're right. They're wrong." That's right. A lot of people having that tonight, especially the Kurt's Card Care fan club. Kurt's in the background. I'm right, guys.
Right.
They're wrong. They called me a drug user and a pedophile. Even though I would you any of you let this man within 10 feet of your children or your wife? I mean, good God, we know what Tim is doing to man's wives, let alone what Kurt would do. Probably would never see her again.
After Chris Hansen gets done with Jeff, he's heading over to Kurt's house, probably.
Sure. Big Fungus, $5. I left Allie Lottle's Breaking Cabana. Allie, yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Allie, we didn't really talk. We had her picture up last week. I don't think we talked about it. Great hire by Jeff Wilson, by the way. I mean, maybe one of the best hires he's ever had. We're huge fans of Allie. You know, she's just she's just dripping with talent, if you will. And speaking of dripping, Big Fungus is dripping in something other than Kurt's card juice. Yeah, I mean, Ryan, would you say if Allie had Kurt's Card Care juice on her, would that be something?
Allie looks a little bit different.
You think so?
Oh, this is old Allie.
Yeah.
Jeff's getting washed up, Allie.
Oh God! Wow!
That was the meanest thing I said all night.
That was low. That was low. Come on! I don't think we need to go there. because I mean, I think you could look at pictures of us 5, 6, 7 years ago or whatever.
She's generating business for him, so it's good for Jeff.
Okay, we're
I'm a
happy for
fatso and a
Allie.
virgin. I'm a
We're
fatso and a
yeah,
virgin.
we're happy for Allie, and we're genuinely happy. We're happy for her. Sir Bongs a lot, $10. Thank you. Membership for the next 2. Thank you, sir. People I think asked about merch. Stay tuned. Limited drop. I think we'll have maybe 2 drops this year around very specific events. We are looking for artists. If you are a talented artist, please email us, sportscardshow@gmail.com. I'm looking for talented artists to design us something. And similar to how Pearl Jam, when they do or any band really, but Pearl Jam is known for their concert posters. Every city they go to, different poster, different artist, something unique. We're looking for that. We're looking for something like that. And if you're an artist of those talents, please email us very soon. It's something that we are going to be working on very soon. And we will get quad XLs. There will be quad XLs, but it'll be a very limited drop. We're talking there. It's not going to be an unlimited supply of merch. It's going to be live and be gone probably in a night is what we're planning for.
You could sell it to
Sports
the
Card
Discord.
Mile. Say that again.
So we could sell stuff through the Discord.
Okay.
There we go.
Would be when we do something, it is going to sell out, and it is people are going to be mad they missed it. That is merchandising 101, at least in the beginning. Sports Card Lyle, $4.99. Joe Morelli, and that five head of his 5 head. Is that what is guy's going to Stockton, CA for a drive-by headbutt? That was a strong take. And the $5. He gave us a strong take and $5. We appreciate that. Joe Morelli is a PSA 2-inch. That is according to Game Time Gallery. Jason Moran says Santiago is the only guy who has the balls to call in. He did call in. Santiago. Haven't heard from him much since then. I think even if you're Santiago, I see your ads that you're running on Twitter. They do show up quite a bit. So people must be clicking on them.
Oh, you know what ad I'm about to crank up is that one right there.
Oh man.
Sorry, Joe.
We do run ads to our haters. That is what is really below the belt, is that we do run ad. We not only put the content up, but then we'll run ads to it. We're next level type of trolling. And we do that over here at Sports Radio.
I warned him. I said, don't piss me off. I said, Joe, if you have a high level position, pissing me off might not be the smart. I tried to warn you guys. This was before I put up the article, before I blew up on a live stream. Right. This was at 3:09 on Thursday. Look, so this was 2 hours before I said, Joe, don't piss me off. Joe, idea. 2 hours before our live stream, you're calling me a fatso and a virgin. What am I supposed to do? And you're rage texting me 2 hours before a show. Joe, don't do that. Do not do that. Dumb idea.
Jeff's burner says, why are you so fat and a virgin? I think we've confirmed that we might be fat, but the virgin status might have.
Again, it depends what team you're on. On Joe Morelli's team, yes, I am a virgin. But if we're talking about, Justin Gamble's mom, or what's this one? What's her name called?
I don't remember.
Mary Gamble, her mother. She's a little too young for me, but her mother, I mean, man, maybe we're not a virgin. So. Jason Moran says Morelli is still doing research despite having all these powerful contacts. That is true. That I think one of our astute listeners found out his dad is actually not in the legal profession, but he's a foot doctor. So I thought somebody else made the fine point too, that boy, his parents must be so proud and his family must be so proud. They all got into the legal profession and he got a job at StarStock. So that's definitely seems like a step down in my opinion. Jason Moran with the $2. Morelli sits down to pee. Also, Kim W is a hottie. I think that is affirmative.
Kim Wilson. Yes.
Wow.
I think that is affirmative.
Wow. Okay.
Jeff did. That was a success in Jeff's life. Maybe the only success. Joe Morelli says you are only making matters worse for yourself. This is all being recorded. Well, I don't know if this was really him. I think that was this troll. SCV says he had quite a bit to drink tonight, and he will get on one of these weeks. Do appreciate that. Probably not a good idea. I think we drank quite a bit last night or last
I
week.
told him to get on still.
Yeah, I'm sober.
That's okay. I actually think that's a sage move to understand when maybe you've had a little bit too much and maybe coming on and saying things may not be a good idea, because we'll drag it out of him if we see that he's off his rail a little bit. We'll definitely not try to steer him back on the rails. We'll try to get him off of it. We don't hold any mercy over here. We want as high entertainment value as possible for the people watching, because we've had a lot of callers call in. We see that the quality of listener that we have is very
high.
very very
Very high. Very high.
All these people threaten SCR, but no one ever follows through with their threats. It's wonderful to see. Keep up the trust work. That's why, it's hard work over here, guys. Run Good Life. Embarrassed. I generally believe StarStock had a good model in 2021. Willing to forfeit all my cards and money on there to pay for my sins. Well, hey, not everybody. I mean, not every. You go back and listen to the old podcast. I'm sure we said some crazy things 10, 15 years ago. Okay,
Confirm.
So, but we will point it out here on Sports Card Radio. Run Good Life was a pumper of StarStock, and sadly that did not go well. B Tho JH with this is a good one. 369, Ryan.
Oh, baby. Here we go.
About accountability. It's all about positivity, Ryan. It's all about positivity.
Yeah, that's true. If you just stay positive, these people just want you to stay positive.
Just stay positive. Neil wants me to admit Tim is the father of my children. Father of my children. That would be disappointing. I think my kids look too white to be anybody but my kids. But maybe they'll end up twerking one day on Jeff Wilson's video, and you guys can be the judge. Queen City cards with the $2. Guys, there's a huge delay when in calls icy. So there was kind of like maybe an audio delay. So I think
that makes sense.
Maybe that it might just seem like the listeners have a slow delay. They're not slow. Unicorn Cupcake. Wow, that song is trash. I don't know what's maybe it's the one that the guy did.
Oh, the new one. We'll play it though. We'll play it. We'll play it.
Hey, I'm open. Tim Jones with the $1. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it, man. And William Dunlap. I definitely want to get some SCR merchandise. Be on the lookout for the merch. Let's just say there's 2 huge card events coming up. One we will not be in attendance of. The second one we will. And our plan is to potentially have merchandise drops around those events. But again, they will be limited. There'll be quad XLs. Okay. There'll be quad XL. A lot of quad XL. A lot of quad XL. And if you haven't
no mediums
enough, I want anybody that buys the shirt to feel like they were lucky to buy it. I don't want it to be like unlimited on the website. Buy it whenever you want. I want it very limited run, almost like a 1 of 1 or a serial numbered card. You feel lucky that you pull it. We're not trying to create base cards over here at Sports Card Radio. We're trying to create, high quality collectibles that hold the test of time. Guys, it is now 11:15 on the East Coast. Half of these people must not have a job, or they live out here on the West Coast where it's 8:13 and Tim is just about to get the juice on. And I wonder, Tim, is it fair to say we have raw cards in the hobby, and then there are cards that have like protection on? When you are mingling with the husband and wife threesome, are you on the kind of the raw base card side, or are you on kind of the full protection in the soft sleeve? Like, can you
in the hard case?
Which you're in the soft sleeve.
Not by preference.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. Wow. Okay. So needless to say, you're looking for maybe a little bit more raw cards to add to your collection. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, raw cards and Kurt's card juice.
There we go, baby. Rub some juice on it.
Very nice. Very nice. I think we should end it on that because that is just quite lovely to think about as most of us head off to bed. Guys, that was a fun show. Thanks for everybody that called in. Thanks for Joe Morelli. Thanks for all the people that provided the entertainment for this week. Another week will go by in the hobby. And if another week goes by where Sports Card Radio does not get a buyout offer from one of these big rich companies, or P. Ryan Collection doesn't come in here and instead of investing in third and ninth tier marketplace sites, he comes and invests in the best and biggest and boldest and baddest sports card program on the internet, that would be Sports Card Radio. If we get bought out over the next week, it's been great knowing you. And if not, we'll be back next Thursday night, 5:30 Pacific time, 8:30 on the East Coast. And for all you tough guys out there, we'll drop a link next week and you can call in then. Thanks for tuning in tonight. For now, we're out of here.
B-side on the beat.
What's going on with that PPP? You done a lot of talking, not a lot to see. Up in the millions like 2.3, but Jeff got it all, getting off scot-free. Try to talk tips like we talking about stock, but you're talking about men printed on called stock. When you open your mouth, I take it with a grain of salt, cause the market's down and you're a clown, it's all your fault. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. Did you dip, Jeff? I think you dipped, Jeff. What you talking about? I don't think you dipped yet. Willie's doing shady shit like the GOBs, like his whole failed thing with them NFTs, taking money from the people to pay. Most of them are broke, but that's okay, he's getting money. Even better, tax-free, loving all the stimulus from PPP. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit.
B-side on the beat.
What's going on with that PPP? You done a lot of talking, not a lot to see. Up in the millions like 2.3, but Jeff got it all, getting off scot-free. Try to talk tips like we talking about stock, but you're talking about men printed on called stock. When you open your mouth, I take it with a grain of salt, cause the market's down and you're a clown, it's all your fault. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. Did you dip, Jeff? I think you dipped, Jeff. What you talking about? I don't think you dipped yet. Willie's doing shady shit like the GOBs, like his whole failed thing with them NFTs, taking money from the people to pay. Most of them are broke, but that's okay, he's getting money. Even better, tax-free, loving all the stimulus from PPP. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit. Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson. You ruin the hobby I love with your bullshit.
Later.